What you think about when you're born into a fire. Let them burn it out. Sell them to the richest buyer. They wanna let the world decay. They tell us lies and fade away, fade away. We feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. Listen up now, because we're never dropping out. Beat the odds, beat the big house. The brains are bigger than the doubt. We've been thinking for ourselves, never let the truth fade away. This is bigger than ourselves, we won't let the world burn away, burn away. We feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. To blame, haters face the world's mistakes. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. And we feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race.
said it first.
Wake it through the back of the pack, kill it anyway. To play, haters face the world's mistakes. Wake it through the back of the pack, kill it anyway.
We had a good Patreon show last night. If you got to see it, that was pretty good. Hope you enjoyed it. I had fun. Hope you guys had fun. Hope it was as good for you as it was for me. Did you guys finish? I know I did. Thank you guys for joining us. Let's roll the intro. We're live everywhere tonight, including YouTube and even Twitter. I think it's a message that needs to get out. Hopefully grab Derek Johnson's attention. He looks like he wants some attention, so might as well give him some. And let's roll the intro.
Hey Daddies, it's me, the Linda Binda from TikTok. I wanted to make this video because I wanted to thank you for watching Cold Beer Confessionals with Will Bird. I think that's just incredible. I've watched a few episodes and I'm just like very intrigued. But you know what I'm most intrigued in is Big Daddy's meat stick. I heard that it's very thick, like a good old German sausage. You know, Linda and her coochie loves that. Oh, never mind. Let's not go there. Anyways, I hope you have a good show and enjoy it as you can. There's a lot of weird things that go on, especially when it comes from the realm of Linda Bindaland. So, enjoy the show. Thanks for watching. Peace out.
Welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining us. I'm Will Bird, and this is the Cold Beer Confessional. Thank you for joining us. No matter where you're watching at, we're on YouTube, Facebook. Twitch is my main platform. I would rather you watch there. If you have the option, watch on twitch.com/Cold Beer Confessional. We're also on Rumble, I think. I didn't check it, but we're probably on Rumble. Let me check it right quick. Oh, yeah, it's working. We're on Rumble. We're on Facebook. I don't know if I already said that. Twitch, YouTube, all the normal places, plus Twitter. We are on Twitter, and I usually don't broadcast to Twitter, but I thought, man, maybe somebody will share it. Maybe somebody will send it out. Maybe somebody will do something with it, because Derek Johnson is a lunatic, and that's what we're going to be covering tonight. We're going to try to stay on topic there. I know there's other things that people probably want me to talk about, but we're going to try to stay on topic here with Derek Johnson being a lunatic. I got a couple things before we start. One thing that was cool to me, I talked to, you guys know I'm growing mushrooms. That's a little side project I have. You can see a lot of it on my TikTok and a lot of it on Patreon. If you're a Patreon member, I post a lot there. But I've been growing mushrooms lately, and I talked to the people over at mushroomsupplies.com about growing mushrooms and about my mushrooms and different things. Anyways, they gave me, if anybody else is interested in growing mushrooms, I know some people just like to watch me grow them. Or some people don't care about it. But if anybody else is interested in growing mushrooms, they gave me an affiliate link, which I'll probably end up posting somewhere, or maybe when I do mushroom videos. But it pays back to the show, so it's just like the Amazon affiliate link. It doesn't cost you any more. It doesn't do anything different. But I think they have like a 10% affiliate fee. So from it's mushroomsupplies.com, and I think I asked them to set the affiliate link. Let me see. mushroomsupplies.com/coldbeer is the actual link. So if anybody else is interested in that, it's mushroomsupplies.com/coldbeer. So we get 10% affiliate, like a finder's fee kind of if you buy anything from there. So there you go. Next time I post a mushroom video of any sort, I'll make sure to include that link. I know some people aren't going to be interested. They're going to be like, mushrooms, what? But other people will be like, other people have talked about growing them, talked about trying. It's not the easiest thing. There's a lot of chance for contamination and stuff. I'm still trying to find a laminar flow hood, which are super expensive, but it reduces the contamination. But either way, I've had good luck. I've got some of these. Look at this one. The stem on this one right here, I bet you it's as big as a 50-cent piece. Like, that thing is huge. It's bigger than a golf ball, guaranteed. Look at the stem on that. That's a hillbilly strain. And then these over here are the super strain, this white one up in the top. These small white ones right here, they're just getting started. But this hillbilly strain is on its third flush. So this is the third time that I've gotten it to produce mushrooms, and it is starting to get a little contaminated. This cake, where it's so thin, it fell apart. I had to throw it away. This one in the top right, starting to get a little bit of contam or something on it. I had to separate it out, but it's working. So there you go. All right, enough about mushrooms. I think it's hard for me to say this because I feel like at times that Mariah is my soulmate. But you never know, right? You can say somebody's your soulmate, and then what happens if you meet someone else that's even more your soulmate? And I think that's what happened to me today. I accidentally ran into what I would describe as my soulmate on TikTok, and I just want to give you all the announcement because I ended up grabbing her a video clip, and we should be working on this soon. Nobody tell Mariah. I don't want to ruin it for her. But still, here we go.
Well, here we are in the wonderful Corpus. I can't say it's been a terrible experience because I had a nice police officer who happens to be related to me with my child and his what do you call it, partner that were good to me, and they did finally show up when they could find me because they gave $9.15 per man for these Pakistanis of that rip-off queen from the America's Best Value Inn in San Antonio. And guess what? I want my $100 back. It better be on there by Tuesday at noon. Understand? And if you charge me for the towel, says Judy, you can charge Bradley. You better not. I'll go and complain, and I'll go hard, and I'll keep on going back, and I'll keep on going back, and so will many of us. Understood? You're not to charge me for those sheets, or those towels, or nothing. You got it? Yeah, you better. I better bring the whole 100 back on. You only have done that to me in the last 7 years. 17 years, actually, for the deposit. So you fucked me over because you're in love with Bradley Pitt again. I don't want Bradley. I don't want
If you don't understand what she's saying, you just don't speak the language of love.
you, Bradley. I don't want you, Tom Brady. I don't want any of you. I want you.
She doesn't want Bradley Cooper. She doesn't want Tom Brady. She wants the meat man.
My life, Jared Hill, and all the rest of this trash. Now I'm in a shelter because I have nowhere else to stay. I still don't know how to get a hold of my son, and I've got T-Jilla. He's not even allowed to be here. He's in jail, and you're all going tomorrow by noon. And this motherfucker said I need to read the report about the foul language outside. You said a transsexual.
To be fair, if she does get custody of her son, I think I would make a good stepdad.
You said a transsexual. You've got living in a women's section over here on the right side. He has a dick. You know what it means? He should be on the other side with the males. I don't care what he's dressing up like. It's not real. He's doing that to avoid prosecution, and you know it. You don't have these fuckers in here. That would be a PREA violation, and this is a prison. It's just another form of it. I don't have freedoms to jump in my car and go away from here and go to my home or whatever. I had to give it up because everywhere I went, it was miserable for me in Iowa. And you're not going to make it this way for me here. You're just not. Eventually, I'll get away from here. Yep. Yeah, Trey. He's married. Yeah. No, he's not. Yep. Oh, he was. Well, it looks better now, doesn't it? It's all about the hero. I think it's pretty big. But I said, don't fucking play with me about foul language when you're doing everything wrong. Okay?
There you go. This is a Gypsy Missy, or otherwise known as user 48130188719181. It's kind of catchy, right? You'll remember that. Gypsy Missy over on TikTok. We're gonna be engaging with Gypsy Missy, I think, a little bit. She seems pretty awesome. My future wife and future ex-wife. So this is Missy Gypsy, and she caught my attention today. And I think you guys should show her some love. All right, let's hop almost immediately into some other content. So this is just a recap of the week. We've been covering some Ryan Upchurch crackhead stuff. Well, he's still a crackhead. But Tom McDonald, he called out Tom McDonald, and then everybody's like, oh, you're doing a track with Tom McDonald. This is fake. Because Tom McDonald was saying that he was going to have a special guest rap with him on a video he's releasing on Friday. Well, Church came out and said, he's got hog tattooed on him. He worships the devil. I'm not doing a song with him. Well, Tom McDonald cleared that all up for us. It is not Ryan Upchurch. Tom McDonald's coming out with a new song, and you won't believe the rapper he got to sign on with him. The one and only, probably my favorite rapper.
All right, people keep asking me who's going to be rapping with me in this new music video on Friday, so let's give him a FaceTime call and just see if he's ready.
Hey Tom, what's up?
Tom McDonald is having a guest rapper on his song that he releases Friday morning, and it is Ben Shapiro. Do you guys remember when Ben Shapiro read the lyrics to WAP, and they put it to, hold on, I'll just show you. Hold on. There's Gotcha Man, by the way. Check him out. Ben Shapiro. WAP. This is going to be Ben Shapiro rapping with your boy Tom McDonald. Oh, let me slow it down. You guys listen at normal speed.
In this house, there's some whores in this house. There's some whores in this house. There's some whores in this house. I said certified freak house. 7 days a week.
Oh no. Don't mess up. We get
Wet ass P word. Make that pull-out game weak. Yeah, you effing with some wet ass P word. Bring a bucket and a mop for this wet ass P word. Give me everything you've got for this wet ass P word.
It's gonna go hard,
N-word.
bro.
Catch a charge. Extra large and extra hard. Put this P word right in your face. Swipe your nose like a credit card. Hop on. I want to ride.
Charge it.
Look, Hagel, well, it's inside. Spit in my mouth. Look in my eyes. This P word is wet. Come take a dive. And continue along these lines. And it gets significantly more vulgar. Like a lot more vulgar.
this wet ass P word. Swap your nose like a credit card. Charge it. Charge it. Oh, no. Anyways, Ben Shapiro is going to be on with Tom McDonald. So that's got to be, by the way, even they even did a Ben, the verified video, like where they have the artist on to explain the lyrics. A lot of people were trolling him with this. I think maybe they forgot about that when they signed Tom McDonald and Ben Shapiro up to do a rap, because everybody's going to make it into this, basically. All right, as bad as I hate to, this is what you guys came for. The title of the show. Derek Johnson is a fucking lunatic. And he is a fucking lunatic. I don't know how else to classify him. He is 1000% a lunatic. He has yesterday he put out a video. It's about 24 hours old now. Well, it's probably about 25 hours old. But about this time yesterday, he put out a video. And by name tried to cancel Space Force Captain Chuck and others. And he tries to lay out his case for that. And we're going to watch this. We're going to talk about how insane it is. We're going to talk about how off the mark it is. We're going to talk about how he doesn't have a case. We're going to talk about how Chuck didn't do anything wrong. And this guy is literally a fucking lunatic. The title of the video is Captain, Your Time is Up. Derek Johnson, January 22nd, 2024. Earlier when I was watching it, it was 22 hours old, but now I guess it's over that. Let me refresh it. So it's come out by this time yesterday. Yeah, one day ago, it just switched. So there you go. Here we go. Space Force Chuck is being called out. He's even got his command, his chain of command, his unit, the unit phone line, the base advocate, legal advocate, judge advocate, legal, Buckley Space Force, Office of Inspector General, and asks all of his followers to call and report this guy, which I don't think was a good move, right? I think that's probably a bad move. And I think a whole lot more people are going to be paying attention to you now instead of Chuck. But here we go.
Hey y'all, Derek Johnson here, also known as Rattletrap 1776.
This video is long overdue, but was well worth the wait. But to get straight to the point, I'm going to read a formal statement here to save on time. As I've stated, my name is Derek Johnson. I'm a retired United States Army veteran.
By the way, let me ask you a question, chat. If you met me and I looked older and I had gray hair or whatever, and someone said, "What's your job?" And I said, "Oh, I'm a retired truck driver." And they said, "Oh, okay. Well, you're a retired truck driver. Could you give me some advice based on your years of knowledge in the trucking industry?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, I'm a retired truck driver. I could give you all kinds of knowledge." And you ask me a question about truck driving, and I use my status as a retired truck driver and give you this information, and you take that information as a subject matter expert, being me, gave you that information. Would it surprise you to then learn that I barely made it through truck driver training and I only drove a truck for 2 years? And that was my entire lifetime of driving a truck. And I got out because my knee was bad. Like Derek Johnson say whatever he wants. There is nobody in the military that got out on medical that is going to say that is just going to come out and keep talking about how they served and how they're retired. How they served and how they retired. How they served. They're going to say medically retired. Or they're going to say, I only served 3 years and I'm retired, or I only served 6 years and I'm retired. They're not just going to say, "I'm a retired veteran," over and over. Nobody. I've talked about this with fucking veterans I know, active duty members. I've asked them, like, if someone tells you that they're retired military, how many years you think they got? And most people will say 20. Most people will say at least, 10 maybe in medical. Some people ask me, did they say medical retired, or did they just say retired? Just retired. He's being disingenuous with that statement. And then he's using that statement, the fact that he was in the military, knows something about the military. He alludes to the fact that he spent a lot of time in the military to be retired, right? And he's using that as to make himself an expert on this topic. And it's just not true. It's almost as bad as when he says wounded warrior. A warrior fights in a war. What war were you in? Oh, none of them? None? You've never seen combat? Okay. That just makes you a wounded soldier.
Hey y'all, Derek Johnson here, also known as Rattletrap 1776. This video is long overdue, but was well worth the wait. But to get straight to the point, I'm going to read a formal statement here to save on time. I'm
going to speed him up. I can't do this.
Johnson. I'm a retired United States Army veteran. As always, I've stated my status from the first video that went viral to present day.
Exactly. If you say you're retired from a job, I assume you actually did that job and for years, right? You have some fucking experience in that field. If I was looking to, I don't know, start a car dealership, and I went to a retired car dealership owner, I would assume that he has some type of knowledge based on the years he spent owning a car dealership. If he told me that he bought a dealership and then 6 months later he sold it because he couldn't handle it, I would be like, "Wow, you're not the guy I thought you were. You're not the guy that I need advice from. You're not the guy that I should be talking to about this." Just like if you go to a soldier and they're telling you something about the military and how it works, and then they tell you they only spent 2 years in, and at that 2 years, they spent the entire time trying to get out with a hurt knee, they're probably not the person you need to be talking to about it.
As a retired soldier and one who took the oath for the correct reasons, I feel it is vitally important for all.
Oh, he took the oath for the correct reasons. Remember this. He took the oath for the correct reasons, then tried to get out the entire time he was in, right? But he claims you're not allowed to sign up and take the oath for a bonus or for housing or to get out of your town or to make something in your life. You've got to take it purely on your desire to serve America. It's weird, though, because Derek Johnson took it because he knew he could finish and get his master's degree. According to his own family, that's the only reason he went in and why he went in so late. It wasn't an overwhelming desire to serve, or he would have been there when he turned 17 signing the dotted line. It's weird.
All Americans to know the history of the foundation
I don't care why a soldier signed. I don't care if you're living in a fucking crack house and your whole family smokes crack and you got nowhere to go. You're fucking homeless. You want to get away from fucking drugs or violence. I don't care why you sign up. If you're a good soldier, you're a good soldier. It doesn't matter why you fucking sign up. How many people do you think purely sign up because they're like, I've got to serve my fellow Americans? It's got to be a fucking minority. What if you were tortured by Obama soldiers? Oh, no. Does that matter? Well, it doesn't happen. I guess it doesn't matter.
Of our nation, the founding of the military, the first war articles, the first flag, the Declaration of Independence, the Articles of Confederation, the Constitution as it was written to be amended and forwarded as it has, and the three branches of government and how legislation is written, passed, applied, and enforced.
This is not true. He does share these things and misinterprets them entirely and then tells you what they mean, right? He takes something that he doesn't understand. We've covered this, and I've shown how he doesn't understand it. He doesn't know what's going on. He doesn't read it in its actual context. He takes it out, makes it whatever he wants it to be, and then gives it to his followers. If he was just reading the Constitution, I wouldn't say anything. Read the Constitution all you want. Sure. But when you misinterpret it and you put it out there, even if you interpret it correctly, you're still opening up yourself for people to come out and say that you're fucking wrong. He doesn't have an issue with Chuck because he thinks, you know, Chuck was trying to destroy him. He has an issue with being wrong, with being called out, with being proven wrong. With, I think, I was talking to somebody about this today. I think he's so self-conscious about his service and how he was only in for a couple years. He tried to get out the whole time, and now he wants to present himself as some type of fucking hero. He's so self-conscious about his own fucking service that's why he has such a hard-on for Chuck being active duty.
As a retired veteran, I went viral on August 24, 2022.
By the way, we're 1 minute in exactly, and he's already said retired veteran 4 times. If anybody's keeping count, we're 1 minute in, and he's informed us that he served, not that he served only 2 years, but 4 times has he told us he's a retired veteran already.
Explaining to people where they can find tangible, already passed, and public legislation, which is up for interpretation, hence its public record and filing. As I
It's not up for interpretation. Imagine a law is passed. Imagine a law is passed that says you have to obey the posted speed limit, and when a speed limit isn't posted, you fall on these guidelines. And then you get pulled over by a cop. By the side, there's a sign beside you that says speed limit 65, and you were doing 85. And the cop says the speed limit's right there, and you said, well, that's that's past legislature that's open to interpretation. I think it says that means when I don't have to take a shit, and I really have to take a shit right now, so that's open to interpretation. It's not open to interpretation. It's not. It means one thing. Now, if you want to twist it and pretend like it means something else and share it to your followers, that's fine. You're just wrong.
I say in all my videos, I've never even told people who to vote for, only when, where, and how to vote. Statute of 1845.
Well, that's kind of shitty, Tiffany. Because he didn't want to deal with the wife and kids anymore. Damn. At least you got child support, though, right?
I've never even told people who to believe, what to believe, whether a person or God.
He has told people who to believe and what to believe. He's told other veterans that they're a disgrace to their service if they don't believe that Trump is still secret commander-in-chief, that they're a disgrace to their uniform. He's threatened other veterans that he would go after and make sure they lost their benefits for being veterans, for not believing the same way he does.
I've only shown people where to find current and past, bipartisan, publicly passed legislation and given my viewpoint on it as it sits and link it all together in a chronological order. That's my constitutional right. However, when you're currently under oath, you're not.
It is his right. It is 100% his right, just like everybody else has the right to say that's wrong, including Chuck. There are things that Chuck cannot do in a uniform. He can't go out and campaign. He shouldn't be at a rally in uniform. We've seen that recently, not only with the Trump campaign, but someone found a Navy guy that was at a Hillary campaign. He shouldn't be at a rally. He shouldn't be out doing a door knocking for get out to vote in uniform, right? He shouldn't say that this is the Air Force's official stance from me, their liaison, and I think everybody should vote for Trump or vote for Biden. Can he address that you said something that's not right, that's not accurate, that's not correct, especially about something that he deals with every day? Absolutely.
No longer in civilian status, no matter your personal feelings, views, opinions, and beliefs. You're now at the mercy of your country, your commander-in-chief, your chain of command, the orders handed down by those, the Uniform Code of Military Justice, regulations of the Department of Defense.
So he does have to follow all orders and commands, lawful orders and commands. He can't come out and he's not allowed to come out and just fucking start talking shit about the current administration. That's still the commander-in-chief. That's still his ultimate boss. There's nothing he can do about that. Even if he disagrees with it, it's not him to publicly disagree with it. It's not on him. The soldiers that come out, like that one soldier that come out and claimed that he was being charged for stuff left in Afghanistan, then he's like, fuck Biden, fuck this administration. You can't do that.
And your branch and the national security of your nation.
See you, kiss off. Thanks for coming by.
Me entity. You're part of something bigger, a team, and you're to uphold the core values of the Department of Defense as well as.
Oh, that's good, Tiffany. I know it takes time. It's a process. But at least you knew that it was available, that he just couldn't disappear and not. But yeah, once their command is, someone's command is super particular about whether you're married or not, or married or separated or kids or whatever, taking care of people at home. I've even seen soldiers soldiers command getting their ass because like bills aren't paid at home, and someone catches somebody's. They decide they don't want to live with their wife anymore, and they stop sending them money. Their wife complains on Facebook, and command comes to crack down.
Your branch, division, and unit. You do have constitutional rights to express your views and opinions as long as you state before every conversation, video, or post that your views are personal and do not reflect the views of the Department of Defense, the Armed Forces.
This is not true. This is when, if you're given an official endorsement, let's say, you guys remember that stupid tack light that used to be on all those infomercials? It's like a tactical flashlight, and they run over it with a Humvee. Let's say that that I give an official endorsement. I'm endorsing something officially with tack light flashlight. I have to say this is not an official endorsement of the U.S. military, blah, blah, blah. If I say I bought a tack light and I don't like it, I don't have to tell you that that's not the Air Force's position, or the Army's position, or the Marine Corps' position.
And whatever branch you're serving in.
Oh, there's a new donation animation. If it works, it's 333 bits, 333. If it works, we'll see. That's still pending.
That must be done every single conversation, post, and or video, and cannot be done whatsoever uniform, period, especially pertaining to politics and things of this nature.
By the way, tell me, I've got videos of me in uniform. I know you guys have seen videos of people in uniform. And unless they're talking about, some people will do it to go out of their way because they're talking about some hotly debated topic. Like, look, I'm in the military. This is not the military's belief. This is mine. I don't like X, Y, and Z. But 9 times out of 10, when you see a video of somebody in uniform, they don't give a fucking full disclaimer. So all those people are just ready for court-martial, Derek?
Ladies and gentlemen, Americans and patriots, we are in an age of discernment, of spiritual and informational warfare. That is the goal, the purpose, and agenda of evil. They use, misconstrue, and abuse all the same terms, definitions, glossaries to fit their agenda while pointing fingers at others saying we're doing that very thing for our agendas.
By the way, we're going to get into this video. Derek Johnson is going to claim again and again and again, you came after me. You came after me. You came after me. Did Chuck come after Derek? He said, this is not true. He didn't even mention Derek's name. He shared a video clip that was going viral on TikTok and said, this is not true. The role of the Space Force is this. Right? Then Derek says that he's a disgrace. He's a shill. He's probably a paid actor. He's probably not even there. That his command should know about this, that he's not allowed to do it. So did Chuck come after Derek, or did Chuck just say Derek's wrong and Derek got his feelings hurt?
However, it is not the...
He's never called him a name. He's never done anything. He's never cussed him or called him a name or said he was coming after him. All he's done is say you're wrong and you're spreading misinformation. This is misinformed.
Of any military personnel to express their views on politics, the president, or legislation while in uniform and or any capacity that makes one single individual and or a group of people believe that their views and stance are that of the Department of Defense, the armed forces, their branch, especially pertaining to laws and orders that affect Americans and civilians.
When Chuck states the mission of the U.S. Space Force, of course that's the view of the U.S. Space Force. He's reading their exact mission statement.
That's regulations and policies, not opinion or personal feelings. Truth only has one side, and there's only one light. But with truth and light, there's going to be lies and darkness. That's where your discernment and knowledge comes in. Knowledge is not power. It's the application of knowledge that's power.
Your discernment. You use your discernment. It's not like it's black and white and written in the mission of the Space Force. Instead, use your discernment to see if they're secretly helping Trump stay in power, because that's why he formed them. And running around saying Joe Biden, this fool used to run around and say that Joe Biden had never said the word Space Force. Oh, if that's true, then why hasn't he ever mentioned it? If he's the commander-in-chief, he's never mentioned Space Force. Oh, okay. Sure.
This particular person that you're about to see in this video paints the picture of, be careful who you follow or listen to, as they're the prime example of a wolf in sheep's clothing. Let the record be known, as it's already known to me, my team, my family, and many who follow me. I had never heard of this particular person of this video until followers started commenting on posts, messaging, and podcasters started messaging and also asking me questions, knowing I do not attack any person on podcasts.
Saying exactly what you said is wrong. He wasn't attacking you. What you said is incorrect. Who better to correct it than the guy that's got times of service in the Space Force? Your time in service was trying to get out the entire time.
I simply use legislation, regulations to answer whatever the question may be. This particular person came after me on January the 30th, 2023, and has been relentless ever since.
Came after me, meaning that I was wrong.
As the record will also show. My first screenshot of this person for record state was on January 31st, 2023 and February 3rd, 2023. I've still yet to listen to any of that video and any other videos, as I've had teams working with me to collect all this evidence.
He's not listening. So Derek is claiming he came after me and also saying I've never listened to any of the videos. He came after me, but I've never listened to any video ever. Still to this day. Imagine thinking someone's coming after you and you haven't even fucking watched the video.
Not only does this person display narcissistic traits and characteristics, but they're also the prime example of how evil replaces evil while wearing sheep's clothing. There's been multiple controversial figures throughout history with multiple individuals, groups, organizations, etc., who strongly dislike and disagree with their stance, opinion, and views, but they were expressed in the correct context. If someone, especially this key individual of this video, is so convinced that I'm wrong, then why do they need to use blatant lies, misinformation, false accusations, frame up, and fraud to try to destroy my...
Now listen, he's not gonna show proof that Chuck used a single fucking lie, that it was blatant misinformation. He can't prove any of this. He's gonna show a bunch of screenshots and say, one time they said I'd text somebody that was underage. Yeah, people were asking that question. Were you texting someone that was underage? People are allowed to ask that question. You can't prove that fucking any of this happened. None of it.
My character publicly and personally. All of which are premeditated and prefabricated with the goal and purpose proving motives and intent. How come this particular person cannot take legislation, laws, and orders and debunk or show people using legislation?
We've done that. We've done that. We've done how you don't understand the laws that are in front of you. You misinterpret them and then misspeak and convince people that your views on it are right after you twist it.
Laws and orders, how none of this is taking place, which will be the same in equal measure. If someone, especially this key individual, is so convinced that I'm wrong, then why did they have to attempt to steal my name, trademark, brand, image, character, and likeness? Billy Graham is a great example. Not everyone is a Christian, and not every Christian believed the way he preached. But here's a great example of how he handled things. Instead of telling an atheist that they were wrong, he simply used the Bible and its instructions to tell them what God's word said.
This is
he
perfect.
believed in God's word. Everyone has a constitutional right to disagree, dislike, and even hate me. That's fine. You can call me names, mock, laugh, ridicule, and even call me a conspiracy theorist, even though all I talk about is past and current bipartisan legislation, which are how the three branches of government function and operates. But that's still your right. But you do not have a constitutional right to commit multiple levels and facets of crime and do it at the taxpayer's expense, which is not the role of any form.
Let's watch this original context.
Favorite Space Force captain.
This is him attacking Derek Johnson on January 30th of 2023. This is Chuck attacking Derek Johnson. Let's look for the attack, the fraud, blatant misinformation, lies. Let's see if we can find it, okay?
Hey, good morning. It's your favorite Space Force captain coming at you once again. I hope you guys are having a great day. I just wanted to share a video that's been spreading around on TikTok that is basically talking about a lot of misinformation about what the actual Space Force is and what they can do. Check out a brief clip and I'll try to square some things away.
Hold on, time out. So Space Force is in charge right now of the military command, or what would you say, the military news?
Well, everything, all bro.
Now, Derek is going to say, this podcaster, talking about Nino, gave me a hypothetical question. One hypothetical question. Just one question has to do with Space Force. Now, Derek won't play it because he sounds like a fucking retard, and he knows he's wrong. But he's going to say, this podcaster asked me one hypothetical question. There was a hypothetical. You heard what Nino said. So Space Force is in charge of what? Military news? Everything. They're in charge of everything.
Hold on, time out. So Space Force is in charge right now of the military command, or what would you say, the military news?
Well, everything, all broadcast, all internet. They have the power to shut it down. They have the power to control it, which they've been doing. Typically. So everything.
What is hypothetical about this? What is hypothetical about this, Derek? What hypothetical question? You led into this by saying that Space Force was in charge of this. Nino didn't drag it out of his fucking ass. Hold on, I'm getting the source material. If David still got it posted, it might be on his Rumble or something. It doesn't look like he has it posted at all. Hold on, let's go to his channel and I'll search. Derek Johnson. Search. It looks like he doesn't even have it posted on YouTube anymore. Give me just a second. February 2023. Derek Johnson with Nino. That's a different shirt. Where's the one? That's an older video. Here it is. That's the shirt. That's the bookshelf. All right, let's find this. It's 30 minutes, I think. Let me skim through this right quick. I don't want to quote him out of context. We're gonna get the context. We're gonna get everything here.
Are you still
their ads, BitChute's or Rumble's ads fucking suck.
I'm going to do something that.
And I think you're doing a huge justice for many patriots. Let's get into the opportunity. The human trafficking.
Because it's on peace or president. So,
oh wait, this is the wrong thumbnail. Why did it show the other thumbnail? This is the wrong one too. It's showing a different thumbnail from what's actually going on. Hold on, I'll see if I can find it. Somebody link it to me. We'll keep going.
I don't know who Derek Johnson or who the other guy is, but what they're saying is completely incorrect. Keep listening to some more.
That's how they will shut it all down, right there, Space Force. That's why he created it in the first place.
Just shut it all down.
Don't mean going out of space. It don't mean getting in a shuttle or popping out. We're talking about cyberspace.
He briefly mentions cyberspace, which isn't all the way incorrect, but just to let you know, cybersecurity is very important in the United States Space Force and in any government institution, to include critical infrastructure for the entire United States of America.
We're talking about...
Is this the attack? This is the attack right here? This is not correct. This isn't entirely incorrect. We do cover this, but we're not in control of every broadcast in the world, and we could shut the internet down.
Intelligence from that level. So that's what people have to understand.
He briefly mentions intelligence here, and I have an intelligence function badge because I was in the intel community for 11 years. And just to let you know that every member of the DoD is considered a member of the intelligence community. So they all either contribute or receive information based on what their organization is defending.
You know, we're talking about legit intelligence. So Executive Order 1385 was also...
Legit intelligence.
Topic I'm going to touch on when it comes to quantum computing. I have a master's in cybersecurity. And just to let you know that quantum computing, the technology that it requires in order for us to successfully establish a full network, is not nearly there. There's still several institutions, organizations, universities, research institutes, whatever you want to call them, they're still out there trying to conduct research on how to successfully do quantum computing. And it's not going to be anytime near in our future that we'll see a fully developed network with quantum computing. And this executive order, all this does is make sure that an executive arm of our government is going out and putting resource towards that research so we can improve our networking capabilities by utilizing quantum computing.
Is this the attack? Is this the attack? Is this him attacking you?
I think that's all I have to say about that, but just to let you know, these guys are spreading misinformation about the Space Force. Take it from your resident guardian. Call me and ask if you really have questions.
That was the attack. So Derek Johnson is saying, I never knew this guy. I never knew this guy at all, and he attacked me. He attacked me.
Dr_J_banana cheered Dex 333.
Let's see if the new animation works.
Here's another idea that's going to be very controversial. You could shut the fuck up.
There we go. Somebody did it. Thank you very much, Dr. J. I appreciate it. This was the attack. That there's some misinformation in a viral video. I don't know these guys, but what they're saying is actually true. This is our mission. Quantum computing isn't where it needs to be right now. We do invest money in it, but it's not where it needs to be right now. This is the mission of the space. That was the attack that he's referencing. He won't play it because he said it's a hypothetical question he was given.
Of the Department of Defense, the Armed Forces, and or a branch of the military. This video is just a tiny portion of the evidence I have to show to make the...
Bullshit. This video is his absolute... No one makes a video calling someone out, threatening someone, having your followers fucking... you're doxing them and sending their information out. Your followers fucking call their chain of command and puts out the not-so-great evidence. Just a little... This is the best fucking evidence you got, and it's bullshit. And it's bullshit. Every bit of it's bullshit. This is the best you got, and it's not good enough. You haven't proved anything.
Case for this active duty soldier, a commissioned officer nonetheless, a captain in the United States Space Force who has abused his rank, title, position, and status to be investigated for multiple crimes as well as treason and any other acts he's violating via the Uniform Code of Military.
Multiple crimes. So he needs to be investigated immediately for multiple crimes and treason. Their favorite catchword.
Justice, federal and civil laws, and Chapter 18 of the Law of War Manual. This particular active duty soldier knew, because of his active duty status, relevancy, that people would listen, and also knew most civilians know.
So imagine Derek claiming that because this guy's on active duty, he knew that people would believe him, which they should. Space Force, he knows the Space Force fucking mission. But then claiming that you running around saying you're a retired veteran with only 2 years of service doesn't make people believe you, and you're not leaning into this, well, I have experience because I'm a veteran. I'm retired.
Nothing about regulations and policies. As you'll see, he's twisted, misconstrued, and abused, which is just the point. It was his goal and purpose, intent and motive, and he's put it in writing. Americans now see the person and his accomplices' goals and purpose as they have publicly posted on record their motives and intent to destroy my name, character, brand, name, and likeness, while also trying to steal those.
Yes, he did make a video that was threatening towards the people he calls the trolls or whatever. And in it, he was shooting a gun and missed every shot, but I think 1 or 2, he did do that. This guy's the one making all the threats. This guy's the one that posts like, we're coming for you. And then his comments are full of people saying, let's go get him. I know where that is. I know where he lives.
Just the same. Now you, active duty Captain Charles Chuck Ruffin, must explain to the American taxpayers.
So there you go. He throws out his full name as if people couldn't find it or didn't know it.
But more importantly, your chain of command and your family, while you're wasting taxpayer money, abusing your active duty status as a commissioned officer.
Let me ask you a question, chat. Do you think a guy with as much time in service as the Space Force Captain Chuck, do you think this guy's got that much invested in his career, a guy that is a social media liaison for a branch of service that has invested this much time and effort to serve our country, his own free will, right? And still serving our country for years and years, multiple branches. Do you think his command doesn't know that he's on social media? Do you think they don't know? You think he would risk his entire career making social media videos and his command has no idea that he's just winging it and no one knows? Of course they fucking know. Jesus Christ.
Leader using your time on active duty to commit multiple crimes such as misinformation, false information.
Multiple crimes, misinformation, false information. Which crimes are those? If misinformation and false information are crimes, you're guilty, motherfucker. I don't know what to tell you. You're done.
False accusations, harassment, cyberstalking, defamation, slander, libel, frame up, and fraud, all for your
defamation, libel, frame up. You just making shit up now? Oh, you're guilty of frame up. Gotcha.
Your personal gain while on active duty, as you've misled thousands of Americans and podcasters with lies and misinformation on my personal life in your attempt to steal my name, trademark, image, brand, likeness, and platform. So, ladies and gentlemen, I now present to you the evidence on this active duty fraud.
Here we go, baby. We're going to get all the evidence now. All of it. Many say don't punch down when talking about people like Chris Sununu, Sloppy Chris Christie, Ada Hutchinson, or others, but sometimes it's necessary to talk badly about those that, for no reason other than politics, speak badly about you. You have to put them in their proper perspective. You have to put them in their place. This could be, and once was, the leader of the fucking free world. Hey, it's necessary to talk shit about people. Sometimes you got to put them in their fucking place. Shut the fuck up.
As President Trump says right here, that sometimes it's necessary to talk badly about those for no other reason than politics speak badly about you. You have to put them in proper perspective. You have to put them in their place.
Hold on just a second. Let me type something right quick. Can somebody in chat? Hold on. Can somebody in chat spell interference? Interference. Just type it out. Spell in chat. Now, if I take that word you just spelled, interference, and then I remove the T-E-R, what word is that? Is that a different word? I-N-F-E-R-E-N-C-E.
Inference.
Inference. Let's see if Derek knows the difference.
So this guy, Captain Charles Chuck Ruffin, never heard of him, never met the guy, but especially never heard of him until January 31st, 2023, via his video on TikTok here from January 30th.
What's up, LG?
Here he is.
I see.
The very first thing he says when he comes on is your face.
Now, let's hear him explain this. Let's hear him explain this video.
Favorite Space Force captain coming at you. He never won.
Inference means to like infer, to use the evidence around you to conclude a statement or whatever, basing your reasoning on evidence.
318 just resubscribed for 16 months.
Thank you, Captain 318. To reach some type of conclusion using evidence and logical reasoning.
Once in any video while in uniform, fatigues nonetheless, the uniform that soldiers die in. This guy right here never once says this is my personal views and opinions. It's not that of the DOD, the Air Force, or the Space Force. Never once does he say that in every video starting out. So straight out the gate, he's already in multiple violations of the AF 51-508 and DOD 1344.10, which I'll show you shortly. All right, in this video, this is his first video that he comes at me. He came at me. Never heard of it.
He came at me. He came at me by saying this video is viral and it's wrong.
Joseph Wu 88 just subscribed.
Joseph Wu 88. Joseph W 88. Thank you very much for the subscription. I appreciate it. He came at me for saying, you know what? This video's not right. Here's what's actually going on. He came at me. He attacked me.
I want to share a video that's been spreading around TikTok. So he puts up this video here, as you'll see coming up.
Derek Johnson can't play audio either.
So I'm on a show right here, and I was asked a hypothetical question, which I don't like. It was one.
It was not a hypothetical question. What do you mean it was it wasn't a hypothetical question? Now I gotta find the fucking video. It's not a hypothetical question. We can watch it. It's not hypothetical. The question is, so you're saying Space Force is in charge of what? Military news? Everything. All communication. They could shut it all down. If they wanted to, they could turn the internet off right now. Is that a hypothetical?
Question out of multiple. So I'm on a show right here, and I was asked a hypothetical question, which I don't like. It was one question out of multiple questions I've received about everything, but there's one question about the Space Force. The only time I've ever talked about Space Force. All right, and it was a hypothetical question. What could happen? All right, because the Army and the Navy had transferred all communications to the Space Force. So I was asked that question. So that's his very first video. He came at me January 30th, 2023. Never heard of him.
It's not what could happen. He asked you a question and you answer it. I don't know what you want me to say. It's not a hypothetical. What could happen? He asked you directly.
The military command, or what would you say, the military news?
Check out a brief clip, and I'll try to square some things away.
Hold on, time out. So Space Force is in charge right now of the military command, or what would you say, the military news?
Well, everything, all broadcasts, all internet. They have the power to shut it down. They have the power to control it, which they've been doing. Typically. So everything.
I don't know who Derek Johnson.
That's not hypothetical. You saying they have the power to shut it down may be you making a hypothetical statement like they could if they wanted to. But the question was a hypothetical.
Before he came at me, put my name in his mouth and in his video. Never heard of him. All right. So January 31st is the first time I'd ever heard him. Now, this guy gets on TikTok, all right, and he'll tell people that.
Yeah, he said Space Force was in charge of everything. And then Nino stops him and says, hey, wait a minute. Hold on. We got to find it. Yeah, we're going to have to find it.
Oh, you know, that TikTok wasn't banned from personal devices. Well, I'm pretty sure when the federal government and the military bans TikTok from government devices, they don't want you on personal devices.
No, this isn't true, right? If your employer bans you from certain websites, they have a filter up for certain websites you can't go to waste time or to be on TikTok or whatever. Does that mean you're not allowed to do it on your phone or your home computer? The DOD banned them on government devices. They didn't ban anybody employed through the DOD from using it. This is just dumb. If the DOD bans it on government devices, that means you're not allowed on there. They don't want you on there. No, it doesn't.
Just talking about the same. Now, this guy gets on TikTok, all right?
By the way, this says all members of DOD are military intelligence, which is ever more reason not to be on TikTok. He tells people that it's okay to be on TikTok personal devices. 100% it is. It's been banned by FG and military, federal government and military on government devices. True. You can't download it on government devices. Personal means sharing you coming home and your family. No. Personal device means you own it and the military does not. That's what it doesn't mean coming home and your family. Nope.
Oh, you know, that TikTok wasn't banned from personal devices. Well, I'm pretty sure when the federal government and the military bans TikTok from government devices, they don't want you on personal devices talking about the same kind of topics and language. I mean, it should be common sense from that manner. When they say you can be on TikTok on personal devices, they're talking about with your friends and your family. They're talking about when you come.
If the government says you can do 70 miles an hour on the interstate, does that mean you can do 75 miles an hour in your driveway or the road that leads to your house, a one-lane road with a fucking one-lane tunnel in it? Of course not. The government says exactly what they mean. You can't have it on government-issued devices.
Come home or you've been gone a long time, you come in from the airport, you can be in uniform. No one's saying you can't be in uniform, but it's what you're saying while you're in uniform. You can talk and correct about information about the Space Force and things of that nature. But your goal and intent and your motives and your intent is going to be shown in this video that was not your goal and your purpose. Your motives and your intent show otherwise. You came at me for other reasons because of what I'm going to show people, what you've committed, all your crimes you've committed. So here he is. I screenshot this, January 31st, 2023. I don't know who Derek Johnson is, so he puts me right here. Comes at me, never heard of him.
He doesn't put you there. Those are auto-generated captions.
He's got his badges on.
Look at these arrows he's added. Now he's going to say it's another crime because he's wearing his badges.
Also, he can be tried for stolen valor.
He can be tried for stolen valor. Derek Johnson does not understand what stolen valor is, clearly. The retired wounded warrior. He says because Chuck is wearing badges that he's authorized to wear. If you don't know, you get an authorization for a combat action badge or jump wings, or you get a fucking paper and it's in your record that you're authorized for these badges, awards, whatever. He says that he can be charged for stolen valor for talking on TikTok while wearing his badges he's earned.
Comes at me, never heard of him. He's got his badges on, which is also he can be tried for stolen valor because he's using his badges in a manner of which he's not supposed to, according to regulations. He talks about that.
That has nothing to do with it, okay? The law amends the federal criminal code to make it a crime for a person to fraudulently claim having received a valor award specified in this act with the intention of obtaining money, property, or other tangible benefit by convincing another that he or she actually received the award. So it is you saying, I received this badge, this whatever, this unit patch, this training certificate. I received this, and you really didn't. And using that to obtain some type of benefit. Maybe you're going to the front of the line. Maybe you're getting a discount. Maybe they're giving away something for free. That's stolen valor. To receive a benefit by claiming something that you did not earn. It doesn't mean wearing it and making a TikTok video.
That I have an intelligence function badge. Then it goes on to say that Intel community for 11 years. And just to let you know, every member of the DOD is considered a member of the intelligence community. So I'm pretty sure there, Captain, that you probably shouldn't be on TikTok talking about intelligence if every single member of the DOD is part of the intelligence community.
Imagine
that's the stuff that they don't want China.
Imagine thinking somebody's talking about intelligence, actual tangible intelligence in the military, for saying that intelligence exists.
And other places listening in on. You should know this as an officer. This has nothing to do with your service whatsoever. Call me and ask if you really have questions. So you incriminate yourself right here. You're telling people you're active duty and that you can call. But what does my name have to do with that? Because the stuff I talk about is legislation, the president, and politics.
He doesn't say call me. He says comment and ask if you really have questions or if you have any questions or something like that. But still, this is not a criminal act. Telling people to call him or contact him or comment.
So when you included my name in your mouth, you entered that arena and you wanted people to believe that what you believe as an active duty member, and you knew your active duty status would lure them.
No, he wanted people to believe the Space Force mission statement, which doesn't say we control everything and we'll shut the internet down when we want to.
And you took it one step further. You proved that on February the 4th on your personal Facebook.
Let me read these whole posts because Derek does not. Okay. So hold on just a second. I hate that I'm even making this post. I don't enjoy getting swallowed up in the trap of conspiracy theorists or even online drama. Yet I feel it in my heart that I at least need to raise some level of awareness to my friends and family that are on here. If you know or follow a gentleman by the name of Derek Johnson, or if you are in or on any of the groups, social media platforms, or groups such as 1776 Nation on Facebook, please, I pray and ask you not get brought into the lies, deceit, and the completely incorrect interpretation of laws, policies, regulations, and much more that he speaks about. Please unfollow and take people with you if possible.
Page.
A warning.
I hate that I'm even making this post. I don't enjoy getting swallowed up into the trap of conspiracy theories or even online drama. Typical narcissist comment.
Typical narcissist. Now Derek Johnson is a psychologist, and this is typical narcissist comment.
Because you do want that, because you once again incriminate yourself right here in multiple ways. You put my name there. You also acknowledge my 1776 Nation page, February the 4th, 2023, which is the whole point of this.
It does. This is going to be such a fucking nothing burger. I can go start 10 1776 Nation pages right now.
Video, it shows your motives and intent and your goals and purpose of stealing and destroying everything about me. But you acknowledge that 1776 Nation right here in me.
The Royal Rangers. Then it says he has a large following, and the information he is sharing and spreading is, in my opinion, someone who has brainwashed and developed a cult of beliefs that, if used by the wrong person, can bring about violence and potentially put people in danger. We've already seen this. The people literally have uprisings in his fucking comments when he says some stupid shit. I hate that so many good Americans are caught up in this, in his spreading of information and interpretation of laws when he isn't a lawyer or even affiliated with the government. They are being misled, and pray that wool over their eyes gets removed. So please, if you see or hear about this person, observe. Don't follow. It's not safe for anyone to be involved in those beliefs.
Then you put right here later, in my opinion, too late, because you don't do that anyway.
He's only saying his opinion, not about the facts that are stated about the Space Force. He's saying his opinion about someone who has brainwashed and developed a cult of beliefs.
Where else? In any of your videos, especially in uniform. Where
you didn't read that part, did you? Just like you didn't play the hypothetical video.
Legislation, too, that's publicly passed, so it's up for interpretation. So
laws, how many times does a cop tell you, oh, that you murdered someone? That's up for interpretation. It's not.
It doesn't matter who's following me. It doesn't matter if it grows to 2 or 3.
Who gives interpretation of laws? The courts. It's not up for interpretation. None of them are.
3 or 4, 10 million people. They're reading what legislation says. I'm reading what legislation says, and I'm piecing it together for them. I'm taking large amounts of information.
There you go. I'm reading it, and I'm piecing it together for them. Then I tell them what it says. I read it from my mom's house in Alabama, and then I interpret it and piece it together for them.
And piecing it together for people. And when they go read it themselves, that's why they follow. So you incriminate yourself everywhere. Then you at me, so you at me here, and all these other whoever they are.
I know I just got really heated having a discussion because what he is doing is scamming people. He's a con artist using his own interpretations to twist the facts and conform to some underground agenda of the government. I feel genuinely bad for the people that are duped. He did not tag you. He's replying to a post that you were already tagged in, and it automatically tags everybody. You don't know how Twitter works either.
He's a con artist, so you state your purpose right there, scamming people, using his own...
He doesn't state a purpose there. He states what you are. A con artist. In his belief, you are a con artist. By the way, why do you have him blocked?
Interpretations. Well, you also give me credit there because that's exactly what that is. So here you are in active duty status, making all these people think that your active duty status represents that of the DOD and the Air Force. Because here's your page right here, active duty.
Active duty USSF patriot, married to his wife, 5 beautiful kids, loves every minute of his life. Mission 22. Girl dad, the rough life, Chuck Ruffin.
Prattville, Alabama. You show your location, you incriminate yourself everywhere. You
incriminate yourself by telling people you live in Prattville. You don't know it's illegal to live in Prattville? Incriminate yourself, incriminate yourself, incriminate yourself, incriminate yourself. All this evidence he has is nothing. All this self-incriminating material he has is literally like, I live in Prattville. I'm in the Space Force.
Not really good at covering your tracks. February the 5th.
You think someone's covering their tracks if they put the town they live in on their social media page? Would it be a good idea for me to cover my tracks by making a post that says I live in Irwin, Tennessee?
Then you get on February the 6th. You get on TikTok again. Stop listening to Derek Johnson. Derek Johnson is wrong. So you use...
Again, these are auto-generated captions. If you're just going to take a screenshot of it, you can't use that as evidence. If you said you haven't even watched it, so obviously you can't use that to your benefit. You haven't even watched it, you said.
You use TikTok and you'll talk about the Space Force. I don't talk about the Space Force. I talk about legislation. I talk about how Donald Trump extended his powers as president via PEDS, which are Presidential Emergency Action Documents, which expand the powers of the president. I talk about legislation that people can put their hands on. So you're kind of scathed over here. You're trying to deceive people by saying you're talking about the Space Force, but then you put my name on it, and a lot of people never heard of me. So when they go look me up and they tie this in, you show your intent and your motives. And I can prove this in court. Then you got other people. You got other people over here.
This is from Chuck Ruffin. Correct wrong information being shared by Derek Johnson. I have written this post in hopes that it either gets a copy and paste anywhere Derek Johnson has following, or a screenshot is taken and shared. I only share what I know and what my experience is with the topics I'm familiar with. I'm not an attorney.
I'm a little bit drunk because I'm drinking. I'm a little bit drunk because I'm drinking.
Everybody say hi to Scary Carrie. Thank you very much for the donation. I appreciate it, Red Girlfriend. I only share what I know and what my experience is with the topics I'm familiar with. I'm not an attorney. I do not have a legal background. Anytime there is something that has...
Believe in you. And you do it, and they're doing it on my...
By the way, he has no chain of... Just because you screenshot this, you know that's not good enough for court, right? Unless they're going to admit it. That's not good enough for court. Ask one of the mods. They'll tell you. Which one's Derek Johnson? 700? Is Derek Johnson 700? I can go look. $700.
My music page, which is even more humorous. February the 15th. They're doing it on my music page.
No.
Queen cheered X700.
Red Flash Queen. I sleep like a baby.
It tells you laws and orders, because we're a nation of law and order. Oh, all of a sudden. Oh, man, this guy. Look at this guy. Oh, and look at him. He's all upset today. Not upset. Shoot. I sleep like a baby every night.
Thank you very much for the bits. That was the Red Flash Quinn. Thank you very much. Me and you too. subscribed for 1.5 years. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. He sleeps like a baby. He's not upset about this. He sleeps like a baby.
So your goals and purpose are clear, and your motives and your intent.
Where's the goals, purpose, motives, and intent? It says, I've written this post in hopes that it either gets copy and pasted anywhere Derek Johnson has a following or a screenshot is taken and shared. I only share what I know and what my experience is with the topics I'm familiar with. I'm not an attorney. I don't have a legal background. There's 100 bits from me and you too. Thank you. Where is his purpose and intent other than making a post? Like, there's no purpose, intent, motives. None of that's here.
Are clear. So let's look at...
By the way, these are all slides he's got laid out that he's emailed to himself or someone's emailed to him at jukeboxjamsproductions@gmail.com. Jukebox. I'm going to type it out in chat. Hold on. Everybody let Derek know that you don't think that he has a very good case. Jukebox Jams. I think this must be where he gets all his email. Productions@gmail.com. He wants you guys to give some feedback. Now, he suggested giving some feedback to Chuck's chain of command, but I think we just take it right back. We just take it right back to Derek Johnson and let him know how we feel about it. Jukebox Jams Productions @gmail.com. There it is.
Misinformation definition, first and foremost: false or inaccurate information, especially that which is deliberately intended to deceive.
And
That is exactly what you do and your accomplices, especially when you have a fraudulent page and you have a fraudulent website that is directed and its whole purpose is to destroy my name.
Fraudulent page, fraudulent website, fraudulent.
My likeness by false information, false accusations, and all the other things that you guys are doing.
False information, false accusations. Illegal.
Cyber stalking. Also using a website. So it says right here, repeated use of communications to harass or frighten someone, for example, sending threatening emails. I've received
Where's the threatening emails?
Those from your people.
I think it's you and your group that are threatening people with cease and desist and legal action. Not to mention ruining people, ruining their lives, all that. Those are threats.
It's the use of internet or electronic means to stalk or harass an individual, group, or organization. It may include...
That word is communications. If you can't say communications, you can't read it. You're just going to say means. But that word is communication.
False accusations, defamation, slander, and libel. That's exactly what your stolen platform has done. So
your stolen platform has done. It's a stolen platform.
Gypsy Daisy 123 just gifted 1 subs.
Thank you for the gifted sub. I appreciate that. Oh, God.
Loved 1965 just gifted 1 subs.
Thank you for the gifted sub again. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Couple gifted subs there. Thank you. By the way, how do we prove that it's a stolen website or a stolen Facebook page? Because it has the same name. Okay, someone else, if you type in Will Bird on Facebook, they'll come up with 10 different names. Is that, did they steal that from me? Oh, no, they didn't? Okay, what about the logo? Oh, they look similar, but they're not the same? Well, then they're not the fucking same. What do you want me to do about that?
Here's your goals and your motives right here. You go on this show right here. A lot of people know this guy. All right. Now, he may not have known this, and I have reason to...
Laird Flash Queen cheered Dex 300.
Thank you for the 300 bits. I appreciate that. David Nino. Captain Chuck Ruffin. It says Truth from Conspiracy, Captain Chuck Ruffin, 3423. Captain Chuck Ruffin of Space Force joins Nino's Corner TV to separate truth from conspiracy in dealings with Space Force. I ask about the operations and fundamental basics of Space Force and the conspiracy surrounding it. We cover topics such as Chinese spy balloon, weaponry systems, and NASA. This was a very informative enjoy. So the one guy who's probably qualified to talk on this that's ever been on Nino's channel. That's the one who's wrong. And you're the one who's right, correct? Is that what we're saying? And no one can call you out because that's an attack, but you can call everybody else out. Is that what's going on? It doesn't seem to make much sense, but I guess it does. I don't know. Hold on just a second. Let's see if we can do this. God, Nino's website's so fucking slow. When was that from? It was from... He doesn't even have fucking archives, does he? Sorry, I'm still looking. I'm on Nino's website, but he doesn't even have archives to go that back.
No one that I'm aware of ever has been made aware of any complaint, a formal complaint made by or
scared the shit out of me
by Tara Reid against me at the time this allegedly happened 27 years ago, or until I announced for I guess it was in April or May of this year. I know of no one who's aware that any complaint was made.
No one aware of any complaint that made aware of anyone that's aware over there. Be prepared for everything that comes around to the square. Hold on just a second. Still looking. He's got to be in this thumbnail somewhere, right? When are these from? Let me click on one. Sweet, it doesn't even tell me the upload date. How amazing. Damn it, I wish I could fucking find it. I want Derek Johnson answering his hypothetical question, the full clip or the full show. Let me get back to playing this.
Way that he didn't, but you did know, and I'm going to show that evidence later.
You know.
Knew this was a setup.
So David didn't know this, but you did know. This is all a setup to get me taken down. You're trying to take me out.
This was to get you in position. You and a group of people. One of your links to this guy right here. I have full-fledged text message evidence of the person that linked you two together, and you and that person and a group of others who were going to try to frame me and set me up.
What?
And they knew, and you knew because you're.
They were trying to frame you and set you up by him going on this show. Set you up for what? Being wrong? What is it? What?
Active duty status that people will believe relevancy over the fact that I'm a veteran and have been in the military in a while. So it all.
Barely in the military and a while, right? You were barely in, plus it's been a while. You probably need to clear that up, right? You barely got in there, barely stayed in there, barely a part of it, plus it's been a while. Don't forget.
All sets up perfect for you there. Then on April the 8th is when I discovered a text message.
He claims that whoever got him in contact with Nino, that there was some type of conspiracy to take him down. And that's what they did. They were working together to frame him up. A frame up job. They were framing him up.
To prove that, and one of my team members found this new 1776 Nation page, all right, that popped up on Facebook using my name, my brand, my trademark, my image.
Not using, no, not at all.
Everything, my brand. So I had signed a publicity contract February the 18th, 2023 at Trump International with many.
So you changed your name to 1776 Original. They didn't use your name, your brand. They may have spoke about you, but it was literally not your page. It was just a page with a similar name and a similar logo.
Many witnesses there. All right. So you, Chuck, and your people knew that radio and TV, that people were going to be coming looking for 1776 Nation on Facebook. You knew that. Y'all knew that. That's why you established a fraud page with the same name to confuse people and to try to trick people and trip them up to discover your cyber.
So now his claim is, I signed this publicity contract and you said, oh, we're going to get in front of this when all these people want to have Derek Johnson on. They're going to be searching for him on Facebook. So we're going to have another Facebook page that confuses them and make sure that they find us instead of him. That was the conspiracy.
Stalking website that you have attached to it with misinformation, false accusations about my personal life. You knew that. That was your motives and intent. So I changed my name to 1776 Nation Original. That way it would be different. And I had to take
like Werther's Original.
Time out on radio, which is very little time, and TV, which is very little time to explain that, which also adds to my case against you all.
Okay.
So I had to change the name, which one of your accomplices also did the same thing later. Changed one of your other pages.
Oh my God. Change one of your other pages or something.
Way. So it shows your motive intent. You trap me, you harass me, you follow me. This is your goal and motives with people out there.
By the way, you can see a picture of Derek Johnson here. That's because this is Derek Johnson's page. It says, if you tell your friends or family to look up 1776 Nation, be sure to tag the page, since we have another page who's taken my LLC name and logo. This is not that page. This is no evidence. This is Derek on his page posting that someone else took his page. That's what's going on here. So this isn't evidence. This is your claim from your own page. Fucking retard. He doesn't even know what he's posting or screenshotting.
I screenshot it on April the 8th. All right, so then we discovered their page. As I said, it was created March 24th, 2023. There's their fraudulent website attached there, which is cyber stalking and misinformation.
Oh my God, their fraudulent website is attached right there, which is cyber stalking. Attaching a website is cyber stalking, guys. Remember that. If you attach a website, that's cyber stalking. You're a cyber stalker. And you will be found out. No doubt. They're coming for you.
Those are both crimes. They had grown it from 23. There's their fraudulent website. We discovered their page. As I said, it was created March 24th, 2023. There's their fraudulent website attached there, which is cyber stalking and misinformation. Those are both crimes. They had grown it from 1.2 to 2.4 at this point in time. Now they're up to about 4,000. Then we discovered that the page was following Chuck's, both his personal pages and his quote-unquote record label, which is also weird.
Okay. So that page is following Chuck. That's not proof.
The fact that he seems to be wanted, that the page was following Chuck's, both his personal pages and his quote-unquote record label, which is also weird. The fact that...
And?
He seems to be wanting to copy and mimic my life in the music world, as I've had Billboard hits, and he has not.
Okay, so he's jealous of me because I got Billboard hits. Chuck's not a musician, you fucking retard. You apparently didn't do enough research. You apparently didn't get it. He wants to mimic me.
I can tell you right now about everything that I told you. I'm finishing up. Everything that I told you is law, and it's already happened, and it's still happening right in front of you. And by powers of the president, in January, when you saw Donald John Trump by constitutional and military...
Could you imagine being married to this crackpot? No. No one would ever marry him. The only thing he's got going for him now is the blue hair gang and probably some money he's made off of it.
Military regulation be inaugurated in a ceremony, and you now know that Biden was given a military regulation funeral service by all regulations of the military from a veteran telling you. I can tell you right now.
From a veteran telling you. I know that was a funeral. A veteran telling you.
By these different things. I'm going to read them again, right here again for you. Why Donald John Trump is still your president.
and not because of voter fraud. Here's why he's president.
Let's hear it.
Military regulations, military symbols, military optics, all right, national emergencies, presidential emergencies, executive orders, the Stafford Act, the presidential, I was on the roll there, Presidential Emergency Act, the Insurrection Act of 1807, the Stafford Act, which I just said, Title 10, Title 32, and then another one right here, 47 United States Code 606. I saved that for last. 47 United States Code 606. You know what it's titled? War Powers of the President. War Powers of the President. Do you know the last person who used 47 United States Code 606? It's the same thing Donald Trump said out of his mouth multiple times. Pearl Harbor. This is why optics and law are important. Pearl Harbor. The last president to use 47 United States Code 606 was Franklin D. Roosevelt. When the last inauguration, the original inauguration, March the 4th, was used. Okay? Franklin D. Roosevelt served 13 years, 4 terms. He died in office. Had he not died in office, he would have served until the what was over? The war was over. World War II. Okay? That's why optics are important. But that's why law is important, regulations are important, symbols are important, and optics are important. The last president to use 47 United States Code 606 was Franklin Delano Roosevelt.
Ooh. Pretty intense there.
They posted a shirt that looked a lot like mine, not even theirs, from another completely different website, which also shows motive and intent.
This is a joke. Are you fucking kidding me?
Label, which is also weird, the fact that he seems to be wanting to copy and mimic my life in the music world, as I've had Billboard hits, and he has not. They posted a shirt.
Imagine claiming that it's not like you're just insecure. It's not your insecurity. It's not the fact that you're uncomfortable with how long you were in the military. It's not your military service. It's not that you're self-conscious and then being like, because I've had Billboard hits and he's not. I've had them, he hasn't.
That looked a lot like mine, not even theirs, from another completely different website, which also shows motive and intent. Because, ladies and gentlemen, when you go to the USPTO, United States Patent and Trademark Office.gov about trademark infringement, one, I didn't give them permission to use 1776 Nation, so that rules that out automatically. Then you go.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You didn't have the trademark at the time. They followed all the rules, okay? Let's say I start a business called Pepsi. And I start this business called Pepsi, and I put my stuff out there, and I file for a trademark. Now, that trademark is going to get denied. Why is it going to get denied? Because someone already owns the trademark on Pepsi. When I get that denial letter, I go from there. Okay, we're going to have to change our name. I might even get a request from Pepsi stating that they want me to discontinue the use of that name because they have a trademark on it with their trademark paperwork, and telling me to discontinue the use of that name or potentially face legal action. What do I do then? I change and go on with my life. You're not going to get something as generic as 1776. You're not going to get it. And if you did, they pulled their application. But even if they'd have left their application, they may have gotten a refusal letter, and then they're required to change it.
Go to what's known as U.S. law, all right? It's first to use, not first to file, all right? So who had the trademark first? Who had it in use and sales first? Well, I'm going to show you who had it in use and sales first. But when you click on that, it tells you that it ends up into federal court. Most of the time it ends up in federal court because this is a federal offense, a federal trademark. But especially mine. Mine's not just a state. Mine's not just the state of where I reside. It's
FDR won the elections. FDR ran and won the elections. He was the first president ever elected to a third term. And then he won yet a 4th term. This is before the 22nd Amendment. I don't know what the fuck he's talking about.
It's all over. It's all over the world. So it would go to federal court, and I could try them for fraud.
Did he win the elections because we were at war? Yeah, probably, right? Americans are probably uncomfortable being in the middle of a war and changing the person, especially if you feel like we're winning the war and you feel like you're doing a good job. They're probably... a lot of people thought he did a good job with the Great Depression as well, but they're probably more likely to keep you in there. But he ran and won.
Which is what they've committed. And then you have their accomplices here, not copied. He doesn't own it. If you read his narratives and watch his videos, that has no...
The 22nd Amendment was just like a year or two after FDR left office or whatever. Or well, he died in office. After he died, it was like a year or two. After he died, they passed the 22nd Amendment.
Nothing to do with stealing my brand. Once again, everybody can have a different opinion, but what's that have to do with stealing and copying my trademark and brand, which is what you'll have to answer in court. hasn't pretended or stolen anything from this person.
A 77.6 Nation hasn't pretended or stolen anything from this person. The logo is different, as many others are similar. He doesn't own the title to any page. We pride ourselves on posting real truth backed up by real facts. So this logo is so generic. It's literally 776 and some stars. They're gonna make him make that logo more unique, first of all, and they haven't stolen anything. He doesn't own the trademark in it yet. He didn't own the trademark at the time, and he doesn't own the phrase 1776 Nation to where anybody else can fucking make. I can make 10 pages right now. Would I be in legal hot water? Absolutely not.
The logo is different, as many others are similar. He doesn't own the title to any page. It's first to use, not first to file. And I have multiple loads of evidence of proof of who had it first.
Stop pretending like Itsuko actually sent something. She didn't send anything. She lies and tries to get me to go to the post office as many times as she can and thinks it's funny.
Then they leave their crumbs once again. They go to my music page nonetheless and laugh at a post with their page.
Now look how bitter this grown-ass veteran is. Look how fucking they go and they leave a laugh emoji on one of my pages, which I caught. Then they do it again, which I caught. Then they laugh and they feel comfortable enough to laugh at my music page. Imagine getting in a spat. I see this on Telegram. Children over there, too. Oh, you think it's funny to leave? Oh, Oliver's mom and them did this to me. I left 2 emotes on 2 posts in their shadow gallery page. They shut down the whole fucking page. Oh, you think? Oh, you want to leave a laughing emote? You think it's funny? You think it's funny? This reaction's pretty fucking hilarious. Yes, I do.
I discovered that. It was May 24th, but I discovered it on June 2nd.
He didn't. It was on May 24th, but I discovered it on June 2nd. Imagine him tweak the fuck out in his mom's basement, going through and looking at every reaction on every page, on every post he's ever made. There they are. There they are again. I knew it. Look at the laughing face. They're laughing right at me. Mom!
They leave their crumbs everywhere. All right, so
they leave their crumbs everywhere. Derek eats them up.
The way we discovered it also is because Chuck here.
The way we discovered it also is because Chuck, I don't know what fucking autist he's got in his team, but they need to learn the law because the shit they're screenshotting is just hilarious to watch Derek Johnson react to. This is probably the best video he's ever put out if he was a comedian.
He just doesn't. Once again, he's probably the dumbest captain I've ever probably heard of in my life. Never met him, never want to. But he's got a group called What's Up Chuck. But this is probably the dumbest captain I've ever probably heard.
The dumbest captain he's ever met.
The way we discovered it.
Well, you were barely in the military. Did you meet any captains?
Also, it's because Chuck here, he just doesn't. Once again, he's probably the dumbest.
Mom! I'm trying to sign and package my book for resale. The Midnight Cowboy rides again, and people on the internet are mean to me. Okay, calm down.
Captain I've ever probably heard of in my life. Never met him, never want to. But he's got a group called What's Up.
Now watch this.
Also, you're going to see in regulations is.
Look, this little. Let me put it on the chat for a second. I know you guys can see most of it, but let me put it on the chat for a second. Okay, chat's gone. The backer's gone. This little cartoon that he's got up here of a little, Space Force, Army man, whatever, on the moon. This little cartoon drawn here. That's also a violation of Air Force regulations right there. You'll see in a minute. That's a violation of Air Force regulations. Listen to him.
Never probably heard of in my life. Never met him, never want to. But he's got a group called What's Up Chuck. But this is also, you're going to see in regulations, is violation.
You can see right here, this is a violation. You can't have a cartoon Army man. You can't have a cartoon Army man. The Air Force clearly states all Army men must be non-cartoon in character and nature. You can't have a cartoon Army man. That's against regulations, laws, and orders.
But he's got this group over here called What's Up Chuck. It's public. Anybody can come to it. All right, public, Montgomery, Alabama. So he stamps himself, incriminates himself, and then he also establishes.
Again, incriminates himself because he said he's from Montgomery. I thought he was from Prattville. What are you doing? Playing the old switcheroo on your house is illegal. You're incriminating yourself, Montgomery, Alabama.
Group here called Veterans for Truth. 70 members, not a lot, but.
I get it. Nothing good comes from Alabama, but still. That's not incriminating.
Me. Scam alert. The very last post they have in here. 1776 Nation.
Scam alert. Our 1776 Nation registered page is not connected in any way to the conspiracy theorist Derek Johnson. Many people have messaged us, really upset that they haven't received merchandise paid for as far back as August, and DJ refuses refunds and blocks the individuals. We could pass your messages to him, but he has us blocked too. This so-called book deal is a scam. It's not connected in any way to us or any legitimate veteran charity. And as he has claimed, he needs, and then that's all it says. And then it shows a post that says, so we took a poll between Facebook and Telegram. How many people would purchase a book? Around 7,500 said yes. But this is, people were literally messaging them mad because they hadn't got their merch yet. And they say we're not associated with Derek Johnson.
Registered page is not connected in any way to the conspiracy theorist Derek Johnson.
Terminal Lance. That's right.
He's saying our 1776
I forgot about that.
Page. It's not registered. You stole it. And anybody.
It's registered with Facebook because you can go to it. What do you mean it's not registered? What do you want to register it with? The AKG? The fucking puppies? The inbred puppies?
Anybody could go on Facebook and make 1776 Nation again, because you can make a username. Anybody can do that. But once again, I can prove in court that I have it in sale.
Oh, there's a retard in chat. If you guys see him.
I have it in use. And I can also prove your motives.
It says, compare the pictures of all the people you saw in the media to the same people before 2019. These people have been arrested and replaced by actors in masks and CGI with green screens to show the American people how the satanic Khazarians infiltrated and took over this country. Seems like it. Everybody should make a 1776 page.
An intent with all of your defamation, slander, libel, frame up, fraud. I can prove that you're trying to use it for other reasons, not for any kind of good reasons, or not because you're some innocent person out there who thought of something and you didn't do your research and didn't know it was in use. No, you have intent and motives. All right.
He signs them and sends them to people that didn't buy them and makes paying customers wait. I know, because one came to our P.O. box, Presumptions. Yeah, I think Presumptions much, Derek. Nobody wants your shitty book, dork. I think that he sent it to a bunch of broadcasters that had their things just to let them know you should have me on sometime. I wrote a book.
And this is also a fraud and a crime here, saying that my book is a scam. So this is where we discovered Chuck right here.
We discovered it. We discovered his public group that anybody can go look at. We discovered it. And he put Montgomery, Alabama, more breadcrumbs, incriminating yourself.
Posted one of his biggest pieces of evidence right here in this video.
The biggest piece of it. You ready? Are you ready? It's called Cover Your Tracks. Are you ready? This is the biggest piece of evidence that proves beyond a shadow of a doubt that Chuck did something illegal to me. Cat, you got to let me know that you're ready for the biggest piece of evidence that there is. The biggest piece. This is going to prove it all beyond a shadow of a doubt. If we were in a courtroom, this would be a fucking full guilty jury vote.
As you'll see in Vets for Truth, way back, if you scroll back to the date here, you'll see on March 25th here, it says, don't be alarmed, another 1776 Nation page was established. I have a clever effort in working towards. I created this page. I'll add anyone within this group as an admin to help create actual patriotic content while debunking the lies shared. If y'all follow the page, I will share true patriotic posts. Actual veterans can have their voice heard. I will do my best not to make it about any one. See the number there? One, that's me. One.
No, that's not you. That's just you assuming it's you. Now I'll read this without his fucking bitch-like inflection on it. Don't be alarmed. Another 1776 page was established. I have a clever effort in working towards. Now, no one knows what that effort is. You can't assume what it is. You can't make it up. I created this page. I'll add anyone within this group as an admin to help create actual patriotic content while debunking the lies shared. No one's mentioned here. We're going to make this patriotic content without while debunking the lies shared. Then it says, if y'all follow the page, I will share true patriotic posts. That's fine. Actual veterans can have their voice heard. That's fine. I will do my best not to make it about any one particular individual. However, it will be a highlight from time to time. Again, No one knows who that one fucking individual is. Why are you assuming it's you?
Particular individual. However, it will be a highlight from time to time. Then he puts the link down here. So when you click, this is a video screen. So when you click on that link, guess where it goes? To
a different 776 nation page. Cool. With a different logo and a different page. News and media website.
3 just gifted 1 subs.
Thank you for the gifted sub, Bop Kitten 3. By the way, guys, if you enjoy the content, you like this, you like the exposed videos, the reaction videos, these retards, please check out coldbeer.fund, coldbeer.fund. That's my website where you can go to donate and watch me erupt from a nice young Asian man's butthole. You can use any of the links on the left-hand side. Buy me a coffee, where you can send a text-based message, and we'll read it in the chat. You join our Patreon, you get extra content starting as low as $2 a month. Gun and Bomber is the old donation link. And then Dono Clip, you can record an audio or video message, and it will play it on the screen. Audio or video, as long as it doesn't violate terms of service. Then this very last yellow button that just says donate here, that's if you want to privately donate. I'll still know. You can still send me a message. I just won't read it on the screen. It's this yellow button here that just says donate. Thank you. That is my shameless plug for keeping the show on there. That's what pays the bills. So if you guys can help us out, it's cheaper than cable. So there you go. Back to the video.
the fraudulent page. Fraudulent page.
They'd flash
no.
cheered X666.
That's the forbidden number.
For reference, this is how hairy my butt is right now.
Pancakes! That's the forbidden donation. The man cakes. That's what we're going to start calling that. Donate 666 for the man cakes.
Right there. When it was established, it says March 24th.
Thank you for the donation.
All right. Then on March 25th, the very next day after that was established, he goes.
Yeah. Well, he says that all the time about different veterans. He said that about me when he fucking. So he found out pretty quick he just needs to block me. He's not gonna fucking keep up. I think it's his insecurity that keeps him going after Chuck, because Chuck's in the military, has a longer history in the military, doing well in the military, still active. I think it's this insecurity keeps him going after him, but he just blocked me quick. But he said I deserve to lose all my benefits, any benefits that I get if I go to the VA, that I was a disgrace to the country and the flag and the uniform I wore, all that shit.
In his What's Up Chuck and timestamps it again as of March 25th, 2023, and posts with the new fraudulent page in his personal group, What's Up Chuck, as you'll see right there. Not covering your track.
You guys aren't even ready for the big evidence. Wait till we get to the big evidence. The big incriminating evidence. The breadcrumbs. He can't hide from me. I'm Derek Johnson.
Do well there, pal. So let's look at who.
What'd he say?
Not covering your tracks too well there, pal.
He's not trying to. These are public posts. He's not trying to.
So let's look at who had 1776 Nation first.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Here's my text from my friend who did my logo for me. All right, we looked at what.
Do you think there's ever been a case in history where someone made a logo? Let's say I made a logo for a company, and they said, which stars do you like? And I said, I want the really sharp, pointy stars. And they said, okay. And then I never pursued that any further, because then I suddenly thought it was a bad idea. Now, what if someone else makes a logo with stars later on? Can I say, I had stars first? I had stars first. You're stealing from me.
What stars do I like? August 31st, 2022, which was 1 week after I went viral. I looked at different ways to do it. Didn't really care for it. So we went with different stars, and we eventually added a star in the middle here. Timestamp, August 31st. Then the very first.
I don't know if he knows none of this is going to hold up in court, right? Screenshots don't hold up in court. There has to be some verifying agent, unless someone comes in and admits to them and testifies to them. There has to be some verifying agent that you can still go, and Facebook shows this still exists. Because why? Screenshots can be edited. Screenshots can be, even if you put them in video format, it can be edited. So when Phil goes to court, we read that they bring in a fucking they do a forensic audit of his social media and his phone and his Telegram page to make sure they were actually posted. They haven't been edited. They were actually there, or text messages, right? You can't have screenshots of text. Are you fucking retarded? What evidence?
The page I had on Facebook was attached to my very first account that I had. I had it for 17 years, a personal page, and I established this business page. I established it as a TV network at first.
Well, that's retarded.
And then Facebook deleted my original account, the personal account, which wiped out this account. And I had screenshot that as we were growing. And then I established another page because I was en route to California. I can prove all that.
If he can't even prove that Chuck owns the page, that Chuck runs the page. He can't prove none of that.
I was en route to California, and I established a new page out there on September the 20th, which is my dad's birthday.
Which is my dad's birthday. I made my page on my dad's birthday.
And you can see here my video screen.
What page did you make when you were down in Gitmo for the radio station?
You click on the About, and it says right there, September the 20th, 2022. 1776 Nation created. Anybody can do this. You can just pull up the page, click on About.
Yeah, but no one cares. This doesn't mean anything.
Scroll down, and it'll show you right there. And there's my latest post, which you'll be able to also see. So,
imagine a guy who literally his background says fact check this, and then when people fact check him, he gets so offended he tries to sue them or call them out or attack them or make them lose their job.
Your intent is clear, so let's look more at your intent. So here you are. This is your TikTok.
This is his intent. So let's look at his intent.
You're now up to 18,000 followers, misleading people, and you tell people you're an educator of the United States Space Force, active duty military. You got your link tree there and there.
Does he not know that Chuck's like an official fucking Space Force liaison? Is that a thing that he doesn't know?
Here's one here. There it is right there, right on the very front. Here's your true social.
This is his intent. Space Operations Officer in the U.S. Space Force, 18 years active duty military service.
You tell everybody you're active duty. Here's your link tree. There's your What's Up truck, which this also is a violation.
Oh, again, this also is a violation. This cartoon guy can't have cartoon guys.
As you'll see shortly. Here's your message.
Oh, wait. We need to go back to that one, Derek. What just happened?
Here's your link tree. There's your What's Up truck, which this also is a violation. As you'll see shortly.
I know. I just got really heated. Okay, it's the same one he already showed.
Here's your messages between.
1776 Nation puts a period. Chuck says these traits can often be used for many people. He is absolutely one of the worst ones I have ever witnessed. 1776 Nation says Chuck, totally agree. And his vile rants and threats against you and your family is disturbing. There must be some way to get him stopped. Then Janice Messer says truth. Then Rob says something on the bottom. It says, Derek, I am medically retired and 100% disabled vet. Also, Derek, I'm not going to show you my retired ID card, and I don't have 100% DAV tag on my car. This is slightly suspicious. That's exactly right.
20 people. And then here's a conversation between you and whomever is your admin. Totally agree his vile rants and threats against you.
Now you're assuming that the page is his. Again, you haven't proven that the page is his, that he runs it, or that he even knows the admins.
There must be some way to get him stopped. You came at me January 30th, 2023. I'd never heard of you until the next day.
Came at you for saying this is wrong.
As records will show. I've still yet to listen to your video. And you came at me. I never used your name until this video today, January 22nd, 2024. It's the first time I've ever used your name out of my mouth. And
yeah, all the other threats and pretty boys and taking them down, this Space Force guy, put a boot in his ass, all the other things was just anonymous threats. Got it.
To show that. And when I started being asked about you on podcasts, all I did was divert it to, well, if he's active duty, then guess what? You got to go look at regulations and see what regulations say. And if he's
you told people that he couldn't possibly be actually active duty, that he had to be an actor or something, right?
He's talking about me, and I talk about politics, and I talk about president still being president and wartime powers and things of that nature. He can't be talking about that. He's active duty.
They found out that his lawyer wasn't even real. I remember seeing the cease and desist, but his lawyer wasn't even real. She's not even allowed to practice. That is a follower of his. I know they sent it to the wrong person.
And then I coined a little phrase for you called pretty boy, because that's what you are. You're acting like a pretty boy. You're not looking at regulations of your own.
Because that's what you are. You don't look at the regulations. You're too busy looking in the mirror. You pretty little sexy motherfucker. Look at your regulation book and put down the mirror and the comb. You're so beautiful.
Or you're trying to misconstrue them and twist them to fit your narrative, and you're misleading many, many Americans because you're not showing by legislation. And then, well, first off, you're not stating that this is my opinion and my views, and then show by legislation. No, you didn't do that.
You're not showing the legislation, okay? If you make any statement, you better show me the goddamn senators that voted for it. You understand me? I want to see congressmen in every statement you make.
You used crime. You've used misinformation, false accusations, frame up, and fraud.
Sounds about right.
None of those have anything to do with your constitutional rights. The information DJ constantly shares has been proven many times by veterans, active
duty military and attorneys to be completely false and inaccurate. The more we find people with firsthand knowledge, the more his credibility goes out the window. Additionally, there are many others that are like him, and we can begin restoring hope in people. Here is an example. That's the Derek Johnson Weebly website.
military
An attorney's rebuttal.
Don't never show that. That's
the website we've looked at before.
The ones that have debated me, they haven't read anything. But you never show on your all of your false and cyber stalking websites. You don't show that. You show lies.
That's his cyber stalking website.
And misinformation.
It's literally an attorney's rebuttal to Derek Johnson's claim. We can look. It does show why. I
got a small dick, but wait till it get hard. She gonna be like, damn, shit, my God.
Thank you very much. Jill bought you 5 6-packs. Thank you for that. Derek Johnson uncovered.weebly.com. Thank you, Jill. Let's see. Do we have the attorney's rebuttal? The information below addresses Derek's claims from a legal standpoint, and practicing attorney was kind enough to write this article addressing Derek's claims. While he gave me permission to use his name, Derek and his followers have attacked people. One of his followers even contacted my employer. For that reason, I will not reveal his name. Derek Johnson, DJ, has claimed that Donald Trump is still president and commander-in-chief in the U.S. military. The contention is that he can prove this through a series of, quote, laws and orders. The following is an examination of a few of the laws and orders he most frequently cites as part of his core proof. Now, Derek is saying we don't show the legislation. He's changed to bipartisan legislation because so many people were making fun of him saying laws and orders. It says the Constitution is suspended. DJ claims that because the United States is under military occupation and continuity of government, the U.S. Constitution is suspended, but the Constitution cannot be suspended. Article 6, paragraph 2 of the U.S. Constitution is known as the Supremacy Clause. It reads in pertinent part, the Constitution and the laws of the United States shall be the supreme law of the land. So the Constitution, by its own terms, is the ultimate supreme law of the land. Again, here, they're showing the laws. The Supreme Court held that the Supremacy Clause guarantees that the terms of the Constitution are forever inviolable. The founders anticipated that the government might try to justify suspending the Constitution, even for well-intentioned purposes. So it used the Supremacy Clause to ensure that the Constitution was irreparable law. The Constitution applies equally in war and in peace, and there's no way that any of the Constitution's provisions can be suspended. Allowing the government to suspend the Constitution during difficult times would lead to anarchy and despotism. Anyone selling the suspension of the Constitution is advocating for one of two things. One of those two things, anarchy or despotism. Again, they show the laws. This is an attorney speaking about the laws that he references incorrectly.
About my personal life. This attorney's rebuttal, you don't even name the attorney. And they don't even say anything. They just say, oh, Derek Johnson is false, and this don't mean that.
No, they didn't. They just showed the law and why you're wrong.
They don't ever show why, via legislation, it doesn't mean that.
Did we just see the law or not, chat?
There you are down there. You're commenting on everything. You're having conversations with people. I have everything.
This one just says you're commenting on everything. There you are, commenting on everything. Why can't he comment?
There you are down there. You're commenting on everything. You're having conversations with people. I have everything. And this is just
having conversations with people. Inaccurate. You're having conversations with people.
A little bit. And here's your Veterans for Truth again. There's one of the main accomplices right here. Loose lip.
Veterans. I played around with the website and discovered you can add your comments directly to the page, Veterans Against Derek. After you make your comment, be sure to include the military branch you served in and the years you served. When you click on post, a box will pop up asking for a name and email address. You can put your first name or initials or anonymous for the name. I played with it and put in a fake email address, and it worked, and it didn't post the email address, only the name. So go for it.
St. Ships, you're gonna find that out.
It's all Laura Loose Lips. Oh, Laura Loose Lips sinking ships over here. Thanks for sharing. I look forward to leaving my comment.
Here's your scam alert again.
There's your scam alert again, scammer.
Here you are telling someone that you're gonna.
I reported him a lot on TikTok. Oops. I'm considering taking his most recent telegram to OSI again. It's crazy.
Take my most recent post to Office of Special Investigations again.
That's right.
You might want to show them this video and all the crimes you've been committing, because
you might want to show them all the crimes you've been committing. If you're going to take this to OSI, I want to show them all the crimes in this video, incriminating yourself, saying you live in Prattville, incriminating yourself, saying you live in Montgomery. You crazy criminal.
Because I'm pretty sure they're going to have a rude awakening when I show them everything that I have that you have not showed them. Then you tell someone over here on Truth.
If you want to clear the smoke, then you have to be willing to listen to my perspective. Otherwise, all my response will do is spiral into another confrontation where you go report to DJ. First, let's peel the layers back on your question. What part of the military do you think is performing this? Remember, we have 6 branches of the military, and here are the current numbers for maximum personnel in each. Army, 542,000. We'll have to pause it earlier. Hold on.
The smoke. First off, show them everything that I have that you have not showed them.
Army 542,000, Navy 347,000, Marine Corps 172,300.
Then you tell someone over here on True Social, if you want to clear the smoke, first off, why are we having to clear the smoke?
These are just comments he's leaving.
You're involving yourself in something that is not of the military, that's not of the Space Force.
Derek told me that he would when I first started talking to him on Twitter, that he wasn't allowed to show me his DD-214, which is your discharge paperwork, because it was classified. Probably because he claims he was tortured while at his duty station. But he told me that it was classified. And I said, it's not classified. Why don't you show me your DD-214, your discharge paperwork, especially if you're a disabled veteran? It'll say, like, your re-enlistment code and the reason for discharge and all that. It'll say medical. And then he told me that I was violating his HIPAA rights. I'm not involved in healthcare. I'm not a healthcare worker. I'm not a fucking doctor or a nurse or anything. But I was violating his HIPAA rights, and then he blocked me.
This is not your role or duty. You came at me, so you asked for everything you're getting and what you're going to receive. If you want to clear the smoke, then you have to be willing to listen to my perspective. So you're a narcissist. It's all about you. You want people, you want a platform, but you're trying to get it the wrong way. Then you say,
as someone who volunteered to serve in the military and have served over 18 years of my life, I took an oath. I'm just getting close to retiring. I took an oath to support and defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. That oath is something I carry every day in my duties. I understand why some civilians may have concerns when they see things happening in government that don't align with constitutional principles. However, my role is not to make judgments about the legal validity of officials who are also elected or appointed under the constitutional system. I have those determinations to oversight bodies in the justice system. As a service member, I aim to operate within the chain of command to defend this nation's core values and foundations of democracy and freedom. I have a process to raise moral and ethical concerns I may have through appropriate channels internally rather than making public allegations. This is, you always use a chain of command and you always keep things inside the military. You're not going to go and be like, my fucking section sergeant's a piece of shit. He did this, this, and this. If you have a legitimate complaint, it goes to the chain of command.
Once again, as someone who volunteered to serve in the military and served over 18 years of my life, I took an oath to support and defend the Constitution. As a service member, so you state, once again, you state your motives and your...
But this doesn't have anything to do with you, Derek. It doesn't mention you. It doesn't say shit about you. Someone was asking him, I'm pretty sure I remember this. Someone was also asking him, well, you think this current administration is doing a good job? He can't post about that.
You state that you're active duty.
Incriminating. You're not doing a very good job of hiding. My goal is continuing to fulfill my oath with honor and integrity. I signed up to preserve what this flag represents, my ability for well-meaning people to openly debate issues they are passionate about while respecting differences of opinion and diverse civic responsibilities. I encourage that kind of open and thoughtful dialogue between civilians and military personnel pledged to serve them. I don't block people due to their different opinions. I aim to learn from perspectives I don't have in my current role. I hope that my interactions over time can build a strong a bridge between the military and civilian and be as informative as I can while maintaining the integrity of our mission to defend national security. Again, this has nothing to do with Derek.
My goal was to fulfill my oath, honor, and integrity.
You won't read all of it.
I block people because of trolls and because of hate.
I block people because they're trolls and hate. That's why I block people. He didn't say shit about you blocking people. He said, I don't. Derek is calling Chuck a narcissist is laughable because Chuck can post, I don't drink coffee. And Derek will say, I drink coffee because I'm tired in the morning and my mama makes the best coffee. Yeah. Okay. But no one was asking, no one mentioned you or asked about you. Nothing. He's a narcissist.
That's my constitutional right to do so.
Active duty TikToking about politics while in uniform. That's a big no-no. It's not. I haven't spoken about politics in any TikTok video. I have only corrected misinformation and shared content about the U.S. Space Force. I haven't broken any rules. Many other servicemen and women post videos on TikTok, Instagram in uniform. It's just the way it is these days. Don't go making a bunch of false accusations or assumptions and talk about me without actually interacting with me directly. I'm the most upfront person you will ever interact with, possibly. Otherwise, I have heard the threats of legal, not valid. Nothing he can do can impact my career because if he does, he will have to prove his shit in court, basically. But it cuts off there.
I haven't spoken about politics in any of my TikTok videos, so you do that on purpose.
He hasn't spoken about politics in any of his videos. He doesn't. He's not campaigning for anybody. He's not telling you who to vote for. He's not telling you who's good, who's bad. He's not degrading the former administration or the current administration. He doesn't speak about politics because he's not supposed to be.
You do that.
He said, you're wrong. You're speaking about politics, but when you bring the Air Force or the Space Force into it and make an incorrect statement, he corrected it.
I use this as an excuse because people don't have all this evidence that I have.
Okay.
People didn't know all this. I have only.
You knew people did not know all this.
Corrected misinformation and shared content about Space Force. Wrong.
Oh, broke Dick Johnson.
Wrong. Many other servicemen and women post videos on TikTok and Instagram in uniform. It's just the way it is these days. So now you're throwing people under the bus, and you're also saying it's just the way it is. So disregard.
Yeah, he threw many people under the bus. Somebody go get specialists, many other servicemen. We need to see them about their TikTok.
Now let's just disregard regulations. Don't worry about regulations. So you're a hypocrite. You don't practice what you preach.
If there's a point in time where you're not allowed to post, like when we were downrange, like overseas, there were times that they told us not to post on social media. We actually had a social media training where they told us about you're fine to post this, you're not fine to post that. You're not supposed to post within so much time of a mission coming up. You're not supposed to post like post mission before this or that. Hell, some guys even had fucking cell phones where they're active, riding around, fucking around with them.
Don't go making a bunch of false accusations or assumptions and talk about me without interacting with me directly. So it's okay to talk about me. It's all right.
Everybody's tried to interact with you directly. You run.
Spread lies and false.
I know personally that you've received over 80 emails to debate me, and you ran away. You blocked me.
Information,
weird.
False accusations and defame me, slander me. It's okay to do that, but you're telling this person here not to do that to you. Wow, what a hypocrite.
Oh, wait. I want to see that second part.
Defame me, slander me. It's okay to do that, but
he skips over it.
Not to do that to you. Wow, what a hypocrite.
I've only corrected misinformation. Oh, this must be the end of that next one. Otherwise, I've heard the threats of legal action not valid. Nothing he can do can impact my career because if he does, he will have to disclose why, and he doesn't want that since he knows his information is misleading and inaccurate. Plus, he has misled people into thinking he has substantial military credentials, and he doesn't. He could lose his 30% disability rating and his benefits the government pays him from his 2-year E4 pay at the time.
Correct.
He gets retirement pay as a specialist. It's got to be a ton of money.
And then you state your goal here. The goal was
find a way to prevent him from spreading misinformation to vulnerable people. The goal wasn't to steal. Again, he's saying, I'm not trying to steal. It was a play using a very legal process. I just did it before he did it. He did with the motive to make him take his sales down so he couldn't make a profit off his lies. I chose to withdraw because honestly, I don't want ownership of anything his name is attached to. I may have made a bad call, but I still have nothing to hide. I'll be here always. People choose to follow him. That's fine.
Wasn't to steal. It
The goal is not to cause him, it's not to steal from him.
Play using a very legal process. Nothing legal about this.
Applying for a patent or trademark is legal. Someone swooping in and taking your patent from you is legal. It happens in business all the time.
I just did it before he did with the motive to make him take his sales down so he couldn't make profit off of lies. You haven't withdrawn.
Yeah, he has. Yes, he sources them from the direct sites associated to mill and gov sites. However, he takes small portions of these documents and he misinterprets them.
You've only kept on.
He takes small portions of these documents and misleads people by not providing the full context on how they are used. I have proven this many times. I have corrected the use of the National Guard and the Reserve Forces. I have corrected the use of the Law of War Manual.
So, once again,
I just want to wish you a happy holiday. Would you mind telling me if this photo is real? Yes, it's real. I was there that day. It looks like the photo, it looks like it was Photoshopped, to be honest. I guess with the way the walking is and him standing, some people were under the impression it was not real. It does look Photoshopped. People sent it to me and asked me, and I told them that. It looks weird, but I think it's real. I don't know.
You only kept on because this was December the 20th. A big platform attacked me with 40,000 followers. So you're not only misleading Americans, you're misleading podcasters because this picture here was...
Now, the new charge against Space Force Chuck is called misleading podcasters. And that is a Mr. felony, I think. Misdemeanor.
Posted by a big platform saying it was false, and I've never been to Trump International. And my friend...
He didn't say it was false. He didn't say. He said, is this real?
And received a message from you asking if this photo's real. And that same platform went back on and had to eat crow and say, we were wrong, this picture is real, I confirmed it. The person said they confirmed it. No, you confirmed it. Because this was shortly before they posted. So you're working with other people behind the scenes. You're not. You didn't withdraw, and you're not withdrawing. Here you are.
A true patriot does not take away from the American people when they have opposing opinions. A true patriot does not block or silence those that question or correct information when it is shared and is incorrect. A true patriot will build their community, empower individuals, and encourage freedom of speech. As a military member of over 17 years, I proudly serve my country with unwavering patriotism and commitment to defending our Constitution.
Military member. And here you are.
Here you are just saying you're a military member. That's illegal. This group originally came together to provide the truth in response to disinformation put out by one individual, Derek Johnson. First, the OGs here. We all know there are more names who are on this bandwagon and need to be ID'd. If you know of a name, page, forum, etc., please post to share those names. One that comes to mind is Phil Godlewski. I would like to build a comprehensive list so we can focus efforts to prevent the spread of incorrect information. Second, if you are new and don't know how you can help, trust me, you will figure it out quickly. My goal as an active duty member is, and always has been, based on the actual DAF policy that states we are encouraged to correct information that is wrong about our specialty, field of experience, or about the service in general. Now, cover the basis of why. There are several people making a profit off of spreading mis or disinformation about the government. I find this as a real threat. One, the potential to incite violence by the followers of the outcomes or expectations they are spreading are not met. If the outcomes or expectations they're spreading is not met. Two, people blindly follow and are.
In your group, Veterans for Truth, this group originally came together to provide the truth in response to mis and disinformation put out by one individual, Derek Johnson. For the OGs here, as we all know, there are more names who are on this bandwagon that need to be identified. If you know a name, a page, forum, please post and share. One that comes to mind, I would like to build a...
He doesn't even speak it. When it comes to mind, I would like to build
a comprehensive list so we can focus efforts to prevent the spread of incorrect information.
He's scared of Phil, too.
Then you go on to say right here, if you're new and don't know how to help, trust me, you will figure it out quickly. My goal as an active duty member is and always has been based on actual DAF policy that states we're encouraged to correct information that is wrong about our specialty, field of experience, or about the service in general.
This is a general, like, you're not supposed to misrepresent your job or specialty or the service and correct misinformation that you see about the job, specialty, or service.
All right, well, let's look at what you do in the Space Force. You're part of Delta 4 right now.
Space Force Delta 4. Delta 4 operates and supports the 3 constellations of overhead persistent infrared, OPIR, satellites and 2 types of ground-based radars, GBRs, for the purpose of conducting strategic and theater missile warning. Additionally, Delta 4 provides tipping and queuing to missile defense forces, battle space awareness to combatant commanders, and technical intelligence for further analysis. Del 4 manages weapon systems architectures and ensures operations are intelligence-led, cyber-resilient, and driven by innovation with while postured to operate in a contested, degraded, and operationally limited environment. Del 4 is one of the 8 mission-oriented deltas within the United States Space Force. Del 4 is headquartered at Buckley Space Force Base, Colorado, with additional personnel and functions at 10 locations in the United States and worldwide. Mission is to provide strategic and theater missile warning to the United States and our international partners. The vision is the United States and our international partners free from the threat of missile attacks. Now, this is a very specific unit mission, right? But you still have an overall general mission to correct misinformation or to not misrepresent and cause misinformation.
Here's what it does. Conducting strategic and theater missile warning. I don't see a comma that says plus misinformation, false accusations, cyber stalking, harassment, frame up, and fraud. I don't see that on here. That's odd.
Yes, they're going to be there. That's his very specific unit mission.
And here you are saying that you're, as an active duty member, Department of Air Force policy. So information, about your specialty and field of experience, that means what you do in the Space Force. And I never talk about.
It's because these guys are political grifters. That's why it's got a politics tag on it. Would like to build a comprehensive list. Second, we already read this, but that's the reason it's got a these guys are crazy conspiracy theorists. I don't know, fucking retards.
What you do in the Space Force. I never talk about you, period. First off, never have talked about you. You've made this about you. You've built this bed.
No one knows what the phrase means, frame up. I don't know what the fuck that means.
Doesn't say that anywhere on this page. And here you are saying that you're, as an active duty member, Department of Air Force policy. So information, about your specialty and field of experience, that means what you do in the Space Force. And I never talk about what you do in the Space Force. I never talk about you, period. First off, never have talked about you. You
never talks about him. Literally talks about him every other post that isn't a picture of a airplane on a radar on his Telegram page. Over and over and over. Pretty boy, Space Force, the captain, military member in uniform. Talks about him all the fucking times.
You've made this about you. You've built this bed that you're in, and now you're going to get to sleep in it by what people believe and feel because you've done nothing but show your motives and intent, once again, in writing.
Him up. No, he doesn't.
You don't talk about service in general. All right? So we're going to show the Department of Air Force. We're going to show that. And that was September the 11th.
Oh, my God. September the 11th? That's a comm.
Once again, there's the same stuff, and there's a Telegram. You posted this about me.
He posted about his TikTok getting permanently banned. He has focused his anger towards me and my platform. He has posted lengthy follow-ups specifically targeting me and my affiliation with people who have done so much to share the truth. While I do have a platform on TikTok, it is not going against any policy. The DoD banned it from personnel using it on government devices. We are allowed to use it on our own devices. We have a Department of the Air Force policy on proper use of social media, and I always have and will abide by it.
September the 14th, 2023, I put out a big warning on Telegram with no names, just that a group of people have incriminated themselves, and it would be in their best interest to issue a formal public apology and delete all of their pages, delete everything, change their name, and stop spreading misinformation, false accusations. Never used a name. And you say I targeted, specifically targeting you and my affiliation with.
Yeah, you do. Like, there's been so many posts that people are like, oh, this is about Chuck, and send it to me.
People have done so much to share the truth. You have stolen a platform name. You've stolen.
We've talked about Chaz before. I fucking hate Chaz and PPN.
Brand, name, image, and likeness with the intent and motives to destroy.
Probably need to cover him again, though.
Me and my platform. You have this all in writing. People can see this. People are going to.
Where's it in writing? Hold on. You're framing him up, Chuck?
Specifically targeting you and my affiliation with people who have done so much to share the truth. You have stolen a platform name. You've stolen a trademark, brand, name, image, and likeness with the intent and motives to destroy me and my platform.
Destroy me and my platform. Using on government devices, we are allowed to use our own. We have a Department of Air Force policy on proper use of social media, and I always have and will abide by those guidelines. My supervisors and even some very senior leadership have seen my TikTok videos and other social media accounts. I have never been told to remove any content. I don't have a way to defend myself against his rants since he has blocked me on every platform. I refuse to let someone attempt to discredit me and my service and this to this country simply because he violated community standards on a platform, and I was not the individual who had anything to do with it coming down. This is the rant after he lost his TikTok. He called out Chuck. I've reported some videos where he shared blatant false information about our government and my service, but I don't believe my reports from nearly 11 months ago had anything to do with his TikTok being banned.
You have this all in writing. People can see this. People are going to pause this and read all these. I refuse to let someone attempt to discredit me and my service to this country. Narcissist, all about you. And then once again,
all about you. You're a narcissist. When you say I'm not going to let someone fucking defame my or discredit me and my service, that's you're a narcissist.
You incriminate yourself. You've made this all about you. This is what you wanted. So let's look at Air Force regulations and Department of Defense regulations. I put the key ones in here. You can go to Google right now.
I don't know that guy. John here to help? I feel like I should, though. But thanks for that. I'll read on it later. I just saved it to the notepad.
And you can Google Air Force Policy Directive 51-508 and read the full thing, but I pulled out the ones that pertain to Chuck in particular. Political activities. It is the Department of Defense policy to encourage active duty members to carry out their rights and responsibilities of United States citizenship. While on active duty, however, members are prohibited from engaging in certain political activities in order to maintain good order and discipline and to avoid conflicts of interest and the appearance of improper endorsement.
This is his whole stance. Chuck isn't doing anything political by saying you're wrong. You're a political guy. And when you make a statement on this or that or the Constitution or the Space Force or whatever, and he says this is inaccurate, that's not him being political just because you are.
And political manners. Then it goes on to saving commanders, which he's a commissioned officer. Air Force commanders have the inherent authority and responsibility to take action to ensure the mission is performed and to maintain good order and discipline.
By the way, that's in dissident and protest activities. He's not, that's under dissident and protest activities. He doesn't, why doesn't he read the header there?
This authority and responsibility includes placing lawful restrictions on dissident and protest activities.
Did he do dissident or protest activities? No? Okay.
Then it tells you the permitted activities. It says you can register to vote and express a...
Oh, okay. I remember when that was going around. I just don't remember him by name, but I just looked him up. They have him labeled as a self-proclaimed whistleblower. I had to look into that. Thank you.
Personal opinion on political candidates and issues, but not as a representative of the Air Force or the Department of Defense. You can join partisan and nonpartisan political club and attend meetings when not...
Again, this says you can register, vote, and express personal opinions on political candidates and issues, but not as a representative of the Air Force. And again, it still doesn't say this is my personal opinion on every post, and this is not the opinion of the Air Force.
But not in any official capacity, nor listed as a sponsor. You can attend partisan and nonpartisan political fundraising activities, meetings, rallies, debates, conventions, or activities as a spectator when not in uniform, and when no interference or appearance of official sponsorship approval.
Interference.
Activities as a spectator when not in uniform, and when no interference.
Derek Johnson's hooked on phonics. Now remember, this is sped up. No let's slow it down. Hold on. Let's see how Alabama's phonics is doing.
Some political fundraising activities, meetings, rallies, debates, conventions, or activities as a spectator when not in uniform, and when no interference or appearance.
Even when he says it, it's almost like it has a question mark on the end. And no interference.
Official sponsorship.
You got it, bro.
Or endorsement can reasonably...
He has to read it again here in a second.
You can write letters to publications, but if the letter identifies the member as being on active duty status...
He didn't write a letter to the editor of a newspaper. So this hasn't... This literally says you can write a letter to the editor of a newspaper expressing your opinions. He didn't do that.
The letter must clearly state that the views expressed are those of the individual, not those of the Air Force or the Department of Defense.
But he didn't write a letter to the a letter to the editor of a newspaper. If he did, he would have to abide by, if he identified himself as an active duty service member in a letter to the editor of a newspaper, he would have to say, by their rules, these are my opinions and not those of my service branch.
Talks about commissioned officers once again.
Oh my God. Commissioned officers shall not use contemptuous words against the president, the vice president, Congress, the secretary of defense, the secretary of the military, something department, the secretary of Homeland Security, or the governor or legislature of any state, commonwealth, or possession in which the member is on duty or present as prohibited or punishable under Article 88 UCMJ T-0. Just because it says commissioned officer. Like, none of these have anything to do with Chuck. That's why he's not reading the whole fucking thing. Oh, it speaks about commissioned officers. He's a commissioned officer. Yeah, who lives on a fucking possession or commonwealth of the U.S., who's talking shit about the Secretary of Homeland Security? No. None of the other shit applies.
Does not give the appearance of official sponsorship, approval, and endorsement.
Activities not expressly prohibited may be contrary to the spirit or intent of these instructions. Any activity that may be reasonably viewed as directly or indirectly associating the Air Force or DOD with a partisan political activity or is otherwise contrary to the spirit and intention of the instruction shall be avoided. Again, he's not doing any partisan political activity.
I mean, it's clear. And then
it's not clear. That's why you're not even reading the whole thing.
Then you can be tried under the Uniform Code of Military Justice, 10 United States Code, Section 892 for
oh my God. Surely not. It says any person subject to this chapter who violates or fails to obey any lawful general order or regulation, having knowledge of any other lawful order issued by a member of the armed forces, which it is his duty to obey, fails to obey the order, or is derelict in the performance of his duty, shall be punished as a court-martial may direct. But he didn't do any of these things, so this doesn't apply either.
Regulations,
thank you.
Which you've clearly done. Then you come on down to the DOD Directive 1344.10. Same thing. It aligns with the Air Force. Once again, DOD, Air Force, Armed Forces, branch of the military. Express a personal opinion on political candidates, but not as a representative of the armed forces.
Again, he hasn't spoken on political candidates at all.
I mean, it's just over and over.
Is it? Just over and over stuff that he hasn't done?
Airmen and Guardians, political activity. Per long-standing DOD policy...
Hold on, let's read the whole fucking thing. Because he's not going to.
Airmen and Guardians,
primary guidance concerning political activity of the Airmen and Guardians is found in AFI of 51-508, political activities, free speech, and freedom of assembly of Air Force personnel. Per longstanding DOD policy, active duty personnel may not engage in partisan political activities, and Airmen and Guardians should avoid the interference that their political activities imply or appear to imply DOD sponsorship, approval, or endorsement of a political candidate, a campaign, or a political cause. Airmen and Guardians may not campaign for a partisan candidate, engage in partisan fundraising activities, serve as an officer of a partisan club, or speak before partisan gatherings. Active duty members may, however, express their personal opinions on political candidates and issues, and make monetary contributions to a political campaign or organization, and attend political events in their personal capacity as a spectator when not in uniform. These are not things that Chuck has done. He's not part of partisan political parties.
Political activity.
Or activity.
Per long-standing DOD policy, Department of Defense, active duty personnel may not engage in partisan political activities, and Airmen and Guardians should avoid the interference that their
interference. I already read that one once, didn't I? The interference.
Personal political activities imply or appear to imply DOD sponsorship, approval, or endorsement of a political candidate, campaign, or a cause. It's ever more clear, all of your violations, and then you look at Space Force, Delta 4, what you do, purpose of conducting strategic and theater missile warning, has nothing to do with all of this fraud
This would be like saying when he says they have a general order to, you know, not spread misinformation and correct any misinformation they see, to uphold the standards and the values and stuff. That'd be like saying, like, every Marine's a rifleman, right? Everybody that goes into the Army's a rifleman. Everybody qualifies with a rifle. You do it in basic training. Now, saying that I'm qualified I'm a rifle qualified, and then you saying, there's no way you're rifle qualified because you're a cook. And it says right here that you cook food. Yeah, but overall, I qualified with a rifle. And given that opportunity, I might have to use a rifle. Nope, you're a cook. You're in a cook unit and you cook food. Of course.
Frame up misinformation and false information.
Frame it up.
Not a thing to do with that. And frame up misinformation.
Framing him up.
That you've been committing. Not a thing to do with that.
I'd vote for Upchurch before I ever voted for a broke dick. I hear you.
Which brings me
and
to
Upchurch fucking psycho.
On March the 12th, 2023.
Here we go.
And first,
how I grew up. March 12th text. He's got the weirdest fucking tags for this shit, by the way.
I'd like to state that I grew up an only child. All right, I grew up.
Yeah, you grew up in a separated home, but you still had a fucking brother and a sister or whatever.
And,
we know.
Thank God for that, I might say. And, you know.
Thank God for that. Seems like you got some of that. What was that movie, Failure to Launch? He's got some of that failure to launch syndrome. He's a Billboard country artist. He's a disabled veteran. He's a fucking got a master's degree, college graduate, and he still lives with his mom and dad. I'd be embarrassed to say I had a fucking 2 Billboard hits on whatever fucking chart, and I don't have a fucking house of my own.
I can honestly and wholeheartedly say that if I had to bring my mother and father into a court of law, my mother has always been one of those who, if I did something wrong or if she disagreed with something, she wasn't the kind of mother that was going to go along with it because I was her child.
Sure.
But I am her only child, and, you know, mothers know, especially caring and loving.
Mothers know what?
Mothers, they know. All right, so.
They know what? What are we questioning that your mom would know? That you weren't potty trained until you were 11? I don't know what we're talking about.
I grew up an only child, and these people, which we go back to this once again, this one podcast that he appeared on was set up by one key individual that knew this guy, all right, and discovered this guy, and because of his active duty status, they thought, based off his active duty status, once again, relevancy, they didn't know anything about all this violations and Air Force policies and regulations and DOD. They didn't know anything about that. They just knew that a lot of people out there love drama, right? And a lot of people will buy misinformation first before actually doing any research, all right? And they got this guy on with him.
Oh my God!
4th, as you see,
surely not.
2023.
Is he implying that his brother set up the interview with Nino? Is that what he's saying?
And this was going to lead this narrative that they built, and they did attempt to build it. We have evidence of that. All right, so.
That's right. They made a mistake once. They weren't about to have a fucking another kid.
This is a text message from a friend of mine, March the 12th. You'll see the date here. March the 12th. I can get it pulled up here. March the 12th. And a lot of these key entities, once again, are people that you're going to see here shortly in a video. They all link together. They're all accomplices. All right, and they have all the text messages. You can see them right here. I'm not going to go through all of them. I'm not going to.
I have them all. They're all accomplices. Look. I'm not going to go through all of them because it's not that good, but they're all accomplices. Trust me.
Show them. You probably can pause it and read them. But all these people, all these key names, they all link together, and they try to recruit someone calling themselves a family member. All right, and these people bought all the lies by this one particular person. Lies, false information, false accusations, which I can all prove in the court of law via my phone records, my DD2.
I can all prove, as if that was a statement that made sense. I can all prove.
14. I can prove it with my civilian records. I can prove it with everything. So I tell everybody, come on with it. Let's go with it. All right, if y'all want to do this, we can do this. So let's go to court. But when I pull my phone records and I pull all of my records, everybody else is going to pull their records too, because normally the people pointing the finger are the ones actually doing what they're accusing everybody else of doing. And these are all text message proof. Especially one particular message here where they say I brought my mother to all these events. I never brought my mother to the events. Then they pulled a friend into this and tried to say that I was texting her daughter inappropriately. And what they were going to do, and I have text message proof, what they were going to do, because a friend of mine that received these text messages received it from an event coordinator who was an event coordinator for one of these people. And one of these people were going to put up at this event this Photoshop conversation of me and an underage girl. All right, premeditated, prefabricated. Photoshop picture. They also did go on a network out there, and we won't name that network because I'll allow that network to also come clean and to apologize, formal public apology, because they went off of the misinformation and lies of these key individuals here. All right, so they did try to go on a podcast and talk about that. It didn't go well for them, but it still is the purpose and the goal of these people. Once again, and everybody needs to know about this active duty soldier who is wasting taxpayer money.
Everybody, hey, he's wasting your money.
He's a fraud. He's a wolf in sheep's clothing. And everybody needs to know about this key individual because this is the world we're living in. There's been 160 plus commanders relieved of duty since June 2017, which is a record. All right. He needs to be the next. This is not the role of the military whatsoever.
He needs to be the next removed from his position. He needs to be the next.
Fraud, frame up, crime. So all these text messages prove, right here, all these messages prove their frame up intentions. All right. So let's look at the Christian man, Chuck. Here he is on his personal Facebook. America wins by always staying united and not divided. Here he is posting a Bible verse. This was 12 days after he committed fraud, which you're
he's framing himself right there. Bible verse.
About to see shortly. Here he is talking about volunteering. As fathers, the greatest lessons we can teach our kids. I'm a family man. Here's his church that he left in Alabama, which he...
What is it? Here's his church he left in Alabama and said he'd miss everybody. I got him. Derek sent Siggy's daughter inappropriate messages is what those in the circle claimed, and immediately after the accusation they dumped him is what the story was. Yeah, I heard that.
Once again, proves that he was in Prattville, Alabama, which that's going to come to play here in a minute.
That's going to come into play if you're in Prattville.
Here's talking about being a leader. And then also, once again, his What's Up Chuck with his timestamp of posting with the fraud page. Then this was just recently, January 19, 2024, he changed his background photo. Fear not, for I'm with you. Of course, his page says here, active duty. Then he posts July 15th. Dear conspiracy theorists, a U.S. president cannot remain a wartime president via executive orders or any other law or policy after their term ends, which is false. It's called a presidential emergency action document. They've been around since Eisenhower, who was not only a president, but was a 5-star general. So once again, if you're going to talk about it, you might want to know all the laws and the orders, but that wasn't your goal and your purpose, your motives, or your intent. So
what? He's just making shit up now. Amidst recent controversies, let us find reassurance in the strength of our nation and enduring. Okay, that wasn't your purpose and intent.
Eisenhower, who was not only a president, but was a 5-star general. So once again, if you're going to talk about it, you might want the president cannot remain a wartime president via executive orders or any other law or policy.
He was elected. He was elected. There was no rule against him running for 100 terms if he wanted to. He was elected. Then after he died, 2 years later, they put in the 22nd Amendment that says you can only run for 2 terms.
After their term ends, which is false. It's called a presidential emergency action document. They've been around since Eisenhower, who was not only a president, but was a 5-star general. So once again, if you're going to talk about it, you might want to know all the laws and the orders, but that wasn't your goal and your purpose, your motives, or your intent. So then we have Chuck being a victim. December the 20th, once again, here's the same post from earlier. Haven't spoken about politics. You have in your other groups. You knew these people didn't know that. Don't go making false accusations or assumptions about me, but it's okay for you to do it to everybody else. You're saying I misled people into thinking I have substantial military credentials, and I don't. You don't know that. I don't have a 30% disability rating, so nothing you know about me is even accurate, first off. You're just trying to make people believe this false narrative, lies, and misinformation. Talking about going to special investigations again. Please do. Please take all this. Please do that. So September the 14th, this is a key date here. So I put out this post on...
This is a key date here. Now remember this.
September the 14th, about this group of people who had incriminated themselves, and they linked themselves together. I guess they didn't realize I had all this evidence, and I tied all this in, which proves goal and purpose of the motives and intent to not only destroy my trademark, my character, my brand, my everything, but also try to steal it. And he made this all about himself, which that's what narcissists do. They try to deceive people, and they don't show people everything and what they're doing. Talks about we have a Department of the Air Force policy on proper use of social media, which you have not done whatsoever. And you say your supervisors and senior leadership have seen your videos. Well, they ain't seen everything. You might want to show them this video. Go ahead and show them this video, what you've been doing. And so then you make it about yourself again. I refuse to let someone attempt to discredit me. You came at me. I never heard of you before. I'm used to negative publicity. I'm used to hate. I'm used to all kinds of things like that. But you and your group are the only group that has set in on me. Nobody else has. It's only you and your entourage. All right. So I put this post up on Telegram, and it was a warning. I was told to do this. Put it in writing. I did it September the 14th. So way back in April, when I discovered the fraudulent page, my attorney, we sent a cease and desist to Laura Upshaw because
my licensed attorney. Okay, this is where they sent a cease and desist to Laura Upshaw, which is the wrong fucking person. She doesn't own the goddamn account. She doesn't moderate the account. She has nothing to do with the account.
Based on our evidence we collected so far,
we read this on the show.
She had emailed me way back in September of 2022, and she was an avid hater.
Buymeacoffee.com, buymeacoffee.com/coldbeer.
All right, her first few emails were real cordial.
I'm sure somehow. Well, you're on Facebook. They can't. Hold on.
So
I'll post it.
Couldn't find any admins on the fraudulent page. So based on our research, once again,
we couldn't find any admins. So just because this lady hasn't liked me for a long time, we just decided it was her. He literally says we couldn't find any admins on the page. So based on this lady not liking me for a long time, This is a lawyer he's claiming did this. We just sent it to her. We just sent it to her. Why not?
We sent her to cease and desist, which ended up being very telling and incriminating because of her response. Her first response is, if you're referring to the 1776 Nation Facebook page, I'm not the creator of that page and have no control over it. It's not the logo you're referring to because, again, I'm not the owner of that page. Well, then, after I had discovered a little bit more, and then I had to start telling people, because I was on radio and TV on a publicity contract, and a lot of heavy traffic was coming looking for the page. It was confusing people because their page has a cyber...
A lot of heavy traffic was coming looking for me, but they were finding the wrong page.
Stalking website up that's devoted to hating me.
Cyber stalking website that's devoted to hating. They were finding my cyber stalking websites devoted to hating me instead of me.
False information, false accusations, and it's deliberately there to deceive people and to trick people. All right, people who don't do their research. So
to trick non-researchers.
She emailed my attorney May 26, 2023, and incriminates her and Chuck very, very badly. As previously stated, I'm not the owner or creator of any page using 1776 Nation. In fact, look at there. In fact, I do not know the name of the person running the page, nor am I an admin or moderator on said page. I also know the fact that Mr. Johnson did not even file for the trademark until May 15, 2023, which is almost a month after you threatened me claiming he owned the trademark. All right, first off, how do you even know to go look up a federal trademark?
What? How do you even know to go look up the federal trademark? How do you know that, woman? Because you threatened that she stole your trademark. So the next thing she says is, how do I look up a trademark? Oh, here it is, 1776. Oh, he filed on this day. You just threatened her with legal action for violating your trademark. So then she's going to look up the trademark that you threatened her with. You fucking retard.
And why do you care if you don't know anything about 1776 Nation? So why? Okay.
Why? That's legal. Why do you care? Why did you look up the trademark if you're not the owner of this page that defames me? Why? Send that to the Illuminati. Why?
So this video right here, you need to make sure your volume is up.
What's up, Jason?
Make sure it's up because this video right...
Make sure your volume's up. Make sure it's up. Here we go. This is it. This is the video. Get ready. The big evidence. This is going to prove it all, guys.
Here is everything that ties all of them together. It's forever.
This video right here ties everybody together. Everybody.
Timestamp. They cannot delete it, and it forever links these accomplices together, their intent and their motives. Well, this video right here.
Here we go. It's called Cover Your Tracks. This video right here links everybody together forever. Forever. Yeah, he did dox my address.
One video right here that incriminates.
And you know his followers are going to send a bunch of emails. This one video right here incriminates everybody. Are you ready? I can't believe this Space Force captain was so silly to leave this smoking gun on his wife's Facebook page.
He and his entourage for all of their crimes. So this is on his wife's page. It's a video from September 2021 that actually received 1.9 million views. It had 34,000 shares and 226,000 hearts, likes, and loves. Little did they know these people, little did they know that this video right here in the future would actually incriminate and tie in this fraud, this criminal, into all his crimes. It does have music playing, but I have it muted for those reasons. As his wife posts, this military man of mine and his love for our beautiful country never ceases to amaze me. Chuck Ruffin is out there doing a ruck to the Prattville Police Department and the Prattville Fire Department in honor of the 9/11 tragedies. Well, let's watch this video. Watch what Chuck does. Look what we have here. We have a wave from a fraud, and then we also have a mailbox with a number.
Oh my God. His old house. His wife's page, who's really doing the stalking, Derek, 100%.
Here to the United States Patent and Trademark Office.
This links them all together.
Government official website where everybody can come over here and search for.
Do you know that anybody is allowed to file for a trademark? Again, if I wanted to trademark Mountain Dew, I could fill out the paperwork. I could put it out there. I could file for the trademark for Mountain Dew, okay? And I would file for it, and it would get rejected. That's not illegal. It's not against any rules. There's nothing wrong with that. You may be better off making sure someone else doesn't have the trademark first, but you can file for it.
Trademarks. Now let's take a look at 1776 Nation. And look what we have here. We have a pending, which is mine. And then we have a dead, abandoned here. And look who the...
That's right, FR Fox. Putting out public information isn't technically doxing. It's when you ask for action, right? Somebody to show up, somebody to harass, somebody to fucking attack.
Ruffin. Now, when you click on this, it takes you to this page right here.
Oh my God.
April 18th, application. September 21st, express of abandonment. Notice of abandonment the next day. All right, when you click on the application, it pulls up this. April 18th, creation date. Filing date, April 18th. And look who the main owner is right here. Charles Ruffin, 798 Wedgwood Court,
Prattville. I told you, he's leaving these little clues everywhere.
Back over here, that is a 798. But then also, later in the video, just a few seconds later, we get a visual on the house in the video.
Oh my God.
So let's go over to
It's a beautiful home. Congratulations, Chuck. Beautiful home. I know it's your old house, but it's a pretty nice house.
Look up 798 Wedgwood Court, and what do we have here? There it is, 798 Wedgwood Court, Prattville, Alabama. Sold July 3rd, so just a few months after the filing here on April the 18th. And then, if you go to his wife's personal page, look what we have here. Our beautiful home in Alabama is up for sale.
Oh, no.
Updated on the same post. Update, sold. That was June the
Now he's drawing attention to his wife, which has nothing to do with this, and I'm sure his fucking followers will be over there too.
which obviously was a month before the Zillow there. But
I've had 2 of his stalkers message me and mention the names of my kids. Sounds about right.
Here, realtor.
Like, I know you guys get that from there. I get that all the fucking time. I don't talk about it because it just gives them attention and they think they'll get talked about again. But hell, I got swatted twice. I had to change all of our phone numbers for some followers of Scott McKay. I got swatted twice. Now the police call me instead, and they're like, "Hey, something going on." But I physically had police show up twice during the show, swatted. It's probably been 10 more times that the police have called and asked if there was an emergency, and there isn't.
.com, 798 Court, Prattville, Alabama. There's the same house as in this video right here. Chuck Ruffin is out there doing a rub to the Prattville Police Department and Prattville Fire Department. So then when you go back over here,
real Prattville,
the creation date, the filing date, that was one day, one solid day after my licensed attorney sent Laura Upshaw a cease and desist because.
Oh my goodness! Right after the licensed attorney strikes again.
Facebook page to see. So based on her had been following me for a long time and spreading all kinds of misinformation, false information, and she has a website with cyber stalking and misinformation, which are also crimes, as you saw. Well, we sent her the cease and desist, and the very next day they filed.
Cyber stalking, misinformation, crime.
Correspondence with my attorney. She had no affiliation. She said no affiliation of any said page. Do not know the owner of any said page whatsoever. So how come when you scroll down here, you find her name also on the same listing, which attorneys will tell you it's rare to see more than 2 on any kind of.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter because it doesn't matter about that. Just because they file for the trademark doesn't mean they own the page. Those are 2 separate. You have to prove that connection. Just because you're a fucking retard.
Intent to destroy my name, my brand, my image, and my likeness. From radio and TV, we're going to be looking up 1776 Nation on Facebook and social media, which is why they established this page, Chuck did, and Laura, the 2 main culprits. It's why they established that, because they knew that traffic would come over looking for that page, and they would discover her fraudulent website, and they would discover all of his fraudulent sites as well.
Yeah, I had to, back when, before my parents passed away, luckily, they were smart enough. My mom didn't get involved in too much stuff. She just believed what my dad said. But luckily, my dad was smart enough when I started covering all this shit. He would call and be like, "Is this real? Do you believe that? I heard somebody say this." And usually I could just talk to him and explain to him what was actually going on. But yeah, they were of that age group to be victims and predisposed to believe certain things, kind of deal.
With all the misinformation, false accusation, defamation, slander, libel, cyber stalking, frame up, and fraud.
Frame up and fraud. Remember, frame up. That's a federal charge.
Now, Chuck, you may explain to the American
only in Alabama
taxpayers why you're wasting their money on active duty, nonetheless, committing all these crimes, and you also have to explain your chain of command when people start calling the Office of Inspector General and also the Judge Advocate General and also the Office of Special Investigations with all of this evidence. You have to explain your chain of command what your constitutional right has to do with you committing all these crimes and what that has to do with your active duty service. So, as you see, it's clear. Evidence is clear. So when you come back to this post right here, September 14th, all right, and he talks about he has focused his anger towards me and my platform. Never heard of you in my life. You came at me January 30th, 2023. Never heard of you.
Saying you're wrong.
You fraudulently tried to steal my very brand, my trademark, federal trademark, which I can prove once again.
Tried to steal it by applying for it legally. That's not stealing it. That's applying for it legally.
In federal court. And here you are talking about your platform. You don't have a platform. You want a platform, and you want it the
He does have a platform. He has his TikTok platform before Derek Johnson ever existed.
wrong way. But if you're so confident in all of this and all of this fraud you've committed and all these crimes you committed, I posted that post on September the 14th, and you posted this on September the 14th. And as you saw, the letter of abandonment was filed September 21st, which was a week from this date. Why are you filing for a letter of abandonment if you're so confident in your quote-unquote stolen platform? So you...
That's not his platform. His platform would be his TikTok page as Space Force Captain Chuck.
Incriminate yourself. You incriminate
yourself. You're incriminating.
Now everybody can see it. You asked for this.
You're incriminating criminal.
This is one of those things when people say pick your battles.
Criminy.
This is the battle to pick, because I may not even have to go to court with you for the fact that everybody who sees this are going to know what kind of liar and fraud you are, and everybody that you've spoken to, all your accomplices, and also the podcasters who have been speaking to you and who have all bought your lies and fraud based off of your active duty status. So, ladies and gentlemen, as you'll see the contact information posted in the next slide, these are the kind of soldiers who need to be court-martialed.
This is Americans and Patriots. As you see the contact information posted on the next slide, these are the kind of soldiers who need to be court-martialed, investigated via Chapter 18 of the Law of War Manual, along with other violations of the Uniform Code of Military Justice, military law, and violations of Department of Defense Regulations 1344.10 and the United States Air Force Regulation AF 51-508. Make your voices known by calling and emailing the authorities with his name, rank, and branch, as well as report all these fraudulent pages.
Investigated via Chapter 18 of the Law of War Manual, along with other violations of the Uniform Code of Military Justice.
This is his call to action, right? This is the harassment here on his beliefs.
Military law and violations of the Department of Defense regulations, and this one in particular, the United States Air Force regulations. You make your voices known by calling and emailing the authorities with his name, rank, branch, even this video, all the evidence that you've seen.
What's his major complaint? What's their major complaint? There's a snake in my boot. Along with frame up.
And collected and read. Make your voices known. And then also go to these fraudulent pages and report them. Here's the contact information right here.
So then he shares all of this and asks people to fucking call it, harass it, spam it.
It's publicly listed. Here's his unit. When you call it, you ask for Colonel Ernest Schmidt, Andrew Downey, my call. Buckley Judge Advocate Legal, Buckley Space Force Office of Inspector General. There's the numbers for those. The local Colorado Office of Special Investigations Detective, direct number. Air Force Office of Special Investigations, 24-hour contact. They also have online forms, so just take the link of this video, post it in there, put his name, rank, and branch.
Just post the link.
Put Delta 4.
There you go. Delta 4.
Department of Defense Inspector General.
Delta
Air
8.
Force Inspector General.
I heard that's some good shit. Delta 9. I don't know if anybody does Delta 9.
They also have websites as well. FBI, Denver Field Office, Washington, D.C., and FBI headquarters. They all need to be contacted and report this guy for his crimes.
FBI headquarters, FBI, everybody needs to report this guy's crimes. If it was a crime that was actually committed, Derek could just report it and the police would do their jobs. Why does he need thousands of people to report this crime? Because there is no crime committed. What Derek wants to happen is enough people, this is cancel culture, right? Enough people call in and say, we don't like your opinion on this. You should fire him. That's what he's doing. If it was an actual crime, Derek could just report it. Why does he need 1,000 followers or 10,000 followers or 1 million followers to fucking report it? Because there's no crime committed.
Now, for you, Chuck, you have a couple options. And that's it.
Here we go.
You asked for this. You came at me. Never heard of you. Once again, on record, I have all the evidence.
You came at me on record. Once again, never asked for it. Didn't know you on record. Once again, you asked for it.
This was a tiny portion of it. Tiny, tiny, tiny portion of it.
This is a tiny, tiny, tiny portion of his evidence. He actually put out the shitty evidence to make you call in. He kept all the good stuff hidden.
So you can either issue a formal public apology to all people on all platforms, then delete those, as well as you can issue to all the podcasters that you also lied to. You can go back on those shows or get them to post.
So he's got to make a public apology on all his platforms. He's got to go to every podcaster and anybody he's ever talked to and have them post an apology.
That you have convinced them, you and your people, and their misinformation and your misinformation.
And delete all his pages.
There must be formal public apologies on all of these platforms, and then you must delete these platforms, or this video stays up. And I will stop nothing short of a United States court-martial for you.
I'll stop nothing short of a I'll get you court-martial. This video stays up. I'll take it down if you do all this.
And I know that the American people are tired of this kind of stuff.
They're like a threat, almost like blackmail.
And I know the American patriots will take action on this, as all of the contact information will.
He better not fucking apologize.
Until you do what you're supposed to do, not only as a quote-unquote
stand strong,
but also as a man, but also as the person you portray yourself to be in the United States.
As a man would do this if you were a real man.
Space Force, active duty, a commissioned officer, nonetheless. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for watching. Please, if you found this information compelling and this evidence, please take action. Thank you.
Please take action. A literal call to action on his video here. A literal call to action.
I was like a ninja.
Dude's fucking out of his mind. Fuck Derek Johnson. There's no crime committed. You don't need thousands of people to report a crime, right? You just report a crime. They investigate it. A crime has occurred, and they do whatever penalty comes along with that crime, or investigation, and then go to court or whatever they have to do, right? Instead, he wants thousands of people to harass Chuck, to harass people associated with Chuck, to harass the people that are in these groups that don't believe the way he does, or the people that filed for the patent. He doxes their phone numbers and email addresses and their addresses, their wives, their kids, their families. He wants people fucking harassed. Because, again, if there's a crime, let's say someone steals your car. Do you go make a video and ask everybody to call your local sheriff's department and report this crime? Or do you just call and report the crime? You don't need to make a video when a crime's committed. He wants the harassment. He wants them to be harassed. And that's his claim. Because he can't debate, he can't prove his side. He hasn't got anything done. He personally has already reported Chuck to his chain of command. His chain of command's already reviewed everything that Chuck has posted and said there's no violations. So now he thinks he can get a mob of angry people, and even though there's no violations and nothing was done wrong, he thinks if there's enough reports that they'll get rid of an 18-year member of active duty service because he has enough people call and bother them. There you go. Derek Johnson, everybody. A fucking lunatic. And the next thing he'll be pissed about is cancel culture. They're trying to cancel people because something they said. Well, you are cancel culture. You are fucking stolen valor, motherfucker. Oh, he's wearing badges while he's talking about me. He could be prosecuted for stolen valor. You're not even a fucking veteran, but just barely. God damn. The other thing that come out with this was these. Boom. Oh my God, all my windows closed. Don't do that. Open up my windows. Bow, bow. This is your boy, Phil Godlewski. Now, just remember, these are not, this has nothing to do with the motion for summary judgment, okay? The motion for summary judgment, he has till the end of the month to respond to it. These are motions that were filed for Phil not following along with discovery and submission of documents and deleting his phone numbers. But every time one of these is ruled against Phil, it's not good for Phil's case, because if you're the guy who goes to court and the judge had to tell you 4 times to fucking turn in your documents and then charge you money, he didn't explain the cartoon. And then the judge has to charge you money for it. The judge is not going to be very favorable to your cause, right? If the judge has to stay on top of you like you're a fucking child because you're either lying, refusing to verify, refusing to turn stuff in, refusing to answer questions, he's not going to be very generous to your side of the case. So these are important, even though these are not case enders, right? This has nothing to do with the summary judgment. It says, Menorah Senior J. Memorandum in order. This is for Phil Godlewski versus Chris Kelly Times, Shamrock Communications, Scranton Times, Larry Holeva. Larry Holeva has been dropped. But in the underlying action against plaintiff, Phil Godlewski against Scranton Times, Phil alleges he was defamed by defendants Chris Kelly, Times, Shamrock Communications, Scranton Times LLP, and Larry Holeva. Larry Holeva has been dropped by virtue of a publication which appeared in the defendant's newspaper February 14, 2021. The publication at issue stated Phil pled guilty in 2011 to a criminal charge of corruption of minors within which he admitted to having a sexual relationship with a 15-year-old girl. The crux of Phil's defamation lawsuit is that the subject publication is false and that the Scranton Times acted with actual malice in disseminating it. The Scranton Times are, in essence, raising truth as their defense. Now, before this court are a pair of motions submitted by the Scranton Times seeking sanctions relief, two asserted by deficiencies by Phil in the production of discovery. As we noted in a recent memorandum and order in the disposition of a separate discovery motion in this matter, quote, in discovery matters, we are not charged with the responsibility of rendering an opinion on the quality or virtue of the underlying case. So in discovery matters, the court's not in charge of did he lie or did he tell the truth. They're not charged with that, right? During discovery, they're not charged with making a ruling on the case as a whole. They're not charged with that, right? Consequently, while the Scranton Times have presented voluminous written material and hours of oral testimony for almost exclusive purpose of painting plaintiff as being intentionally deceitful in various responses to discovery, the unmistakable truth is that the credibility of Phil or any party is not within the domain of this court at this discovery phase. So even though they presented tons of written material, hours of testimony, and evidence that he's a liar, right? He's being intentionally lying to the court. The court can't decide right now on whether he's lying about the case or not. They just have to accept the discovery, and then that gets hashed out in court. Continuing. Accordingly, we will distill these discovery motions to their essence and render a disposition as to whether Phil has provided legally sufficient responses to Scranton Times' discovery request. In this Scranton Times' second motion for sanctions, it appears all but one of the asserted basis for sanctions concerns the veracity of Phil's response to discovery. In that regard, although we may find Phil's answers to be suspect, the court finds Phil's answers to be suspect. Such is not our concern during discovery. As long as his responses to discovery are verified, meaning he signed them and said, these are my verified responses, Phil has satisfied for our purpose his obligation. Therefore, with regard to sanctions sought in reference to Phil's discovery responses considered by Scranton Times to be patently false, we will deny the motion unless the subject responses are not verified, signed as verified. In which case, we will direct Phil to personally verify within 10 days and not to verify through counsel in all instances. So again, he's been trying to say his attorney to tell them that they're verified. He has to sign on them, right? He has to say they're verified. We will substantively address the remaining basis for sanctions in the Scranton Times' second motion for sanctions. In their second motion for sanctions, which concerns the alleged failure by Phil to comply with the preservation of evidence request. In that regard, the parties agree that Scranton Times, through counsel, served upon Phil, directed to his lawyer, on June 8th, 2021, a request to preserve, inter alia, all electronically stored information. As is most presently relevant, the request includes the preservation of information contained in Phil's mobile phone, although the specifics are a bit unclear, as Phil contends. So this is what his lawyer said. Well, they're unclear, so we didn't know. So they're saying, although you said they were unclear, in response to discovery, he possesses, quote, no text messages with minor victim. The Scranton Times are aware of such text messaging through being provided same by the minor victim from her cell phone, the other end of the text messages. So Phil says he has no text messages, but they pulled Bree's phone and the text messages exist. So Phil can't say there's no text messages. And even though he claims they're unclear, it doesn't matter. They said text message from the minor victim. These are text messages through the minor victim. You're wrong. Resultantly, Phil's answer is either untruthful or an effective admission he failed to safeguard these communications in contravention of the preservation of evidence required. So he's either lying or he deleted them and failed to preserve them. Sanctions in discovery matters are governed by Rule 4019 of the Pennsylvania Rules of Civil Procedure, PA RCP 4019. The purpose of allowing the imposition of sanctions for a failure to comply with discovery is to ensure compliance with proper orders of court and the adequate and prompt completion of discovery. Adequate and prompt. So it's supposed to meet the standard and it's supposed to be done quickly. Meanwhile, it's well settled that the imposition of sanctions for discovery violations is vested in the sound discretion of trial court. So if it imposes too much a burden upon them, that's all within the purview of the court. In their prayer for relief, the Scranton Times requests sanctions consisting of, inter alia, a dismissal with prejudice of plaintiff's complaint. Now, this is a long shot, okay? This is a long shot. Asking for a dismissal because someone won't produce a portion of discovery is a long shot, but you have to stick it in there, right? And they knew it was a long shot when they stuck it in there. Asking for a dismissal with prejudice of Phil's complaint and the award of defendants of a total of $70,000, half of which representing reasonable counsel fees and the remaining half attributable to Phil's alleged bad faith, and a directive that Phil surrender for inspection his mobile phone. We agree with defendants, the Scranton Times, that Phil should be sanctioned for his failing to preserve the text message in question. However, we find the Scranton Times' demand for dismissal to be too drastic and the specific monetary sanctions requested excessive. In meting out sanctions which are vested in our discretion, we find mandating the production of Phil's mobile phone along with the imposition of a more modest monetary penalty payable to not to Scranton Times but to Lackawanna Pro Bono, a local nonprofit organization through which local attorneys volunteer to represent low-income individuals facing serious civil legal problems in Lackawanna County, to be more appropriate. So did you understand all that? So they're saying you're asking for too much money and we cannot dismiss the case just on this. But you're asking for too much money. So instead, we find that mandating the production of Phil's mobile phone. Phil's going to have to turn over his phone. Not give us your text. Phil's got to turn over his phone for forensics. Phil might drop the whole goddamn case just because of this. Phil has to turn over his phone. And the money is going to be sent to Lackawanna Pro Bono, which is a local nonprofit. So they are going to charge him not $70,000, but some amount that goes to a nonprofit organization. That's more appropriate. Now we turn to Scranton Times' third motion for sanctions filed in relation to plaintiffs' alleged failure to abide by the court order dated November 14, 2022, which directed discovery production within 10 days thereof as follows. Plaintiff's full individual federal tax returns and tax returns for any businesses he held an ownership interest in filed with the IRS for all years from 2016 to the present, and serves Scranton Times counsel with verified supplemental answers to defendants' requests for production of documents set 1, numbers 2 and 3. B. Plaintiff's live video streamed or uploaded to any social media outlets or platforms, including but not limited to YouTube, Live, Telegram, Rumble, etc., identifying each video by the date of the live video from January 1st, 2020 to the present. C. Any diplomas, certificates, and or transcripts from Harvard Business School concerning any programs or classes Phil Godlewski attended there. D. Any documents evidencing plaintiff's purchase of any guns, rifles, or any firearms in 2020 or 2021. E. A verification for Phil's answers to interrogatories set 2. We are satisfied Phil has either failed to produce items which he has in his possession or, if not in his possession, failed to provide a verified response attesting to such. We cannot stress enough the requirement to provide in discovery not only what is requested, but also verification of its production, or, in the case where not produced, verification of the information is not within the possession of the party from whom it is requested. So you either have to give us this shit or you have to tell us you don't have it for whatever reason, and you have to sign that as your statement, okay? You have to give it to us or sign that you don't have it for whatever reason, and that'll be valid in court because you're signing it. You can't keep telling your lawyer to keep telling us stuff. Fucking retard. As a result, we find plaintiff has failed to abide by this court's November 14, 2022 order, for which the imposition of sanctions under Rule 4019 is warranted. In this regard, we will once again compel Phil to personally provide complete and verified responses to any discovery request to which a sufficient response, including the response to the information sought is not within the possession of Phil, has not been provided. So to add teeth to this sanction, like Phil added his brilliant white teeth to himself, to add teeth to this sanction, we will additionally impose a monetary penalty in the nature of counsel fees for plaintiffs for Phil's lack of personal verification to date, and so they're going to give counsel fees and ongoing payment of counsel fees should plaintiff not abide by the order which now follows. So we're going to award counsel fees for him not doing this. Plus, if he continues not to do this, we're going to provide ongoing counsel fees, right? If he continues to play this game, we're going to do ongoing counsel fees. And it says, the order which now follows. Now, the order which now follows seems like it was not uploaded. It shows, because that's what I would like to see next, see how much time they gave him or whatever. Now, again, this does not have to do with the motion for summary judgment. The motion for summary judgment is actually not, I think he has until the end of the month to reply to it, okay? So it can't be ruled on yet. But there is a thing, so this is memorandum and order of Judge Menorah filed. This is the document that come out. In 2 days, last night, which is probably not going to come out until another couple of days, it says order dated 1/22/24, Menorah Senior notified 1/24/24. So that must be the order that, I'm assuming that's the order that follows, which we haven't seen that yet. We've just seen this. It's very funny that he said to give this to give this teeth to give this teeth. Jesus Christ. Just like Phil's teeth. Oh, he'll figure it out one of these days. God, he's such a fucking retard, dude. Why are you doing this? The judge is not a female. I think somebody said, I hope the judge is a woman. This is the judge. Judge Menorah. Here. Oh, put it on the wrong screen. Here. That's Judge Menorah. Anyways, so Phil, again, is so excited for this lawsuit, which he won't even fucking provide the documents for. He won't answer the questions for. Now, what is Phil going to say about this case? He's going to say, well, the idiots, lawyers for the Scranton Times asked for $70,000. Yeah, right, I'm not paying that. The judge told him to get wrecked. Told him to get bent, bro. Gary, do the gritty. She's so drunk she fell over in a wave. Do the gritty. That's not a gritty. That's fetal alcohol syndrome. Anyways, yeah, so they haven't that's his only plea, is that they didn't throw out the case, which that was a long shot, and they're not awarding $70,000 to him. They're making him pay a lower amount, which we'll see in the order, but it's going to be a less substantial amount to a nonprofit. And he's got to turn over his phone. I know he doesn't want to turn over his fucking phone. Minora Senior, J Menorah Senior. So I'm assuming there's a junior. Damn it. Stop it. Sorry, I'm trying to open something. Yeah, I don't think Phil's very is going to feel very good about turning over his phone. I wonder what else is on his phone. Like they can't just go through it. But I wish they could. God, that would be so good if they could just start going through his phone and see who else he's sexting and all the other shit he's doing. Of course they can't, but that would be good. That would be very interesting. I think Judge Menorah. Let's see. His name is Carmen D. Menorah. Judge Carmen D. Menorah. In 2014, he said he will not seek another 10-year term as next year. So that'd been 2015. So he's judge there until 2025, I think, and then he's retiring. So he's got like one year left, something like that. Is a judge allowed to go? No one's allowed to just go through his phone. There'll be a very limited scope of what they're allowed to pull, which is, it sounds like it's the text messages between him and
She gonna be like, damn, shit, my God.
I'm glad you're there with entertainment for the evening instead of sadness. Keep it up, bro. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you for the 6-packs. There'll be it'd just be like a search, the same way a search warrant works. There'll be a very limited scope. Like you didn't turn in your text messages, so we're going to hire a third-party company, a forensic company, to go through and pull the text messages that you claim didn't exist. You're lying about the text messages because we have some of them from the victim. And Phil also in those text messages where he's asking her about a substantial financial windfall, and there may be even more text messages. Who knows? I don't know if they'll get more from it because they've got Bree's side. So I don't know that they'll get more from it, but you never know. Maybe there's some that Bree didn't have that she fucking deleted, that she didn't want on her phone or never thinking about it or whatever. And Phil still got them. Who knows? But we do have the text message about the financial windfall. And then he's like, I was telling her, I was talking to her about, signing up for a gold 401k IRA. Yeah, okay. After you said, really hate those fucks, it's time to put them in their place. The Scranton Times doesn't know what they're talking about. This sounds like you were talking about a 401k and sticking it to, sticking it to the cabal. I was trying to get her to stick it to the cabal by signing people up for a gold 401k IRA. You know, that's what I was talking about. That's the people I hate. Guys, consider supporting the show. If you like the content, like what you saw, it's cheaper than cable, I can tell you that much. You wanted to keep going 7 days a week, this is how you do it. Go to coldbeer.fund, coldbeer.fund. Click on any of these links on the left-hand side. These are all donation links all the way down to this very yellow one. That's like the secret donate link. You can use any of these links here. You just click on them, open up, enter an amount. Cheaper than you think. Uh-oh.
Wait till you get home. She gonna be like, damn, shit, my God.
Thank you very much. That was Brian and then Red Pill Girlfriend, Lisa and Zach. Thank you guys for the donations. I support it. Consider supporting the show. Make a contribution. We'll see everybody on the next one. I got to go. It's too late. I got to get the fuck out of here. That was an in-depth Derek Johnson show. I knew it was going to be long, but it needed to be said. Fuck Derek Johnson and the goddamn midnight horse he rode in on. We'll see you guys on the next one. Have a good night.
But I can tell you this about if this douchebag happens to see this particular show, you don't have the forking balls to call out the people on this planet by name and tell them exactly who they are and tell them the rest of the world who they are. You don't have the forking balls. You don't have the balls.
Okay, Scott.
Here we go, I think I started some shit. Listen off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set.
It's for you, Itsuko. You see that on the screen?
Here we go, I think.
When Mariah flips me off, it's so comical. Like her fingers are so tiny, it looks like this. It looks like a toe flipped me off. Got little coon paws.
Cause you ain't seen none yet. And they say that I'm a lunatic. Well, listen, bitch, I came equipped.
You know that somebody just the other day was like, I didn't realize that was you on camera in the intro and outro. Yeah, it's me on camera. See? Hi.
To profit off of gossip. Worshiping drums.
There's a snake in my midnight cowboy boot.
Cameras like four in a thong. He's strapped to the shaft, eating his chest like he's King Kong. Starving for attention. attention, I'ma make your gut burst. I'll be your huckleberry, I can quench that thirst. Baby eating lizard people, alien sex. What's next? Trump in a dress, fucking Flynn on his desk. A retard in a vest, climbing up 5G towers. Cause you told him if he did, he'd get fucking superpowers. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss him off, it's about to get lit. Get the place.
I'm glad you enjoyed it, FR Fox.
You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen nothing yet. Here we go, I think I started some shit.
Glad you actually found it. I don't even know how you fucking found it, but thanks. We don't get a whole lot of new people. We got some dedicated people.
Cause you ain't seen nothing yet.
Most people find the replays if they're new.
I found myself a tunnel that led to Jason Q's bedroom. Open his closet, I found some of his meat rockets. I strapped it to my shoes and then I flew through the roof. I found myself in orbit strapped to an F-16. High on amphetamine with Trump in between. Put on a light coat of baby oil and saluted the troops. He tapped me on the shoulder and said, "This is gonna be it." Whoa, wait. Stop. What? I'll get my files. Wait, what are you doing? It's it. Stop. Hold on. Fucking stop. Dude.
It was from the recent Derek Twitter post. That's awesome. All right, guys. Have a good night. I'm out of here. Got to go eat some ovarian eggs over easy. Have a good night.
Placing them bets, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't